All right, guys, we are live. What's going on, guys? How's it going? Sorry for the excuse me. Sorry for the delay. Um, but yeah, we have a special guest tonight. It's This man needs no introduction. He's the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Krillin. How are you today, sir?
I'm hanging in. I'm surviving.
Yeah,
I'm still alive. I guess you could say that. Doing
yeah.
better than some.
It's good to hear, man.
Yeah.
See, I sorry. So, we were just talking for a bit, but so you mentioned you decided to try to go to that like a sale or something.
Yeah. Like so. This one company, a lady who I'm friendly with, I'll usually text her. Oh, do you have anything? Or I mean, usually I my go to is that one site, that estatesales.net.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys have that in Canada.
We have no. I'm not sure if that's in Canada. To be honest, I haven't checked.
But most people in the United States, I'm sure if you ask them, it's a state sale, not estatesale.com, estatesale.net. And I like it because it's very well, first of all, I don't like things that are too complicated. It's easy to work. And, all you do is you put your zip code in, and then it gives you, what do you call it? Diameter, but not the diameter. Whatever, you know what I mean.
Circumference.
Circumference of whatever, like, a range of how many miles out. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
okay.
you put
Oh,
in 20
radius. Okay.
miles
Yeah. Okay.
and
Radius.
a radius,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Circumference. Yeah, radius, radius. So, um, but you know what I meant.
Yeah. 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 No,
So,
I know what you meant.
yeah. Um, so what happened was, I knew that there was the sale, and I wasn't sure if I was even going to go. But she texted me, so I was like, you know what? I kind of it's always good. Like that's one thing with the estate sales, like you know, it's always good if you kind of show up, even if it's like you're not sure, because number one, there could be other stuff there, which I was so tempted because there was a lot of stuff like Discmans and stuff like that, Sony stuff. Like every time you see Sony, it's like I'm sure your eyes light up, right? When you see
Oh
Sony.
yeah. Yeah. Anything Sony.
Yeah, they were like Sony Discmans, but they were like not with complete. And it was like like in a box. It was not like. And then they had other stuff, like they had like a Bose speaker. She had
Nice.
like 100, but you know what it is, like she had like see, it's a different tactic. We can do a whole different show on estate sales. Like a lot of people they're discouraged about estate sales because they see the high prices and then they run out. They're like, oh my god, I can't believe they want $100 for a speaker. You know, it's um what happens is they think they use garage sale mentality going to the estate sale. Garage sale mentality is basically like, you know, I got to get up super early and then hit as many as I can and wait for them to pull out the stuff and just crush it. Estate sales is much different. Estate sale, it's a whole different game because, you have to wait a lot of times till like they'll put eBay prices on stuff.
Oh
But
yeah.
that,
I've seen
you
that.
know,
Yeah.
but if you go the last day or if you know the company, you say, because they know a lot of people sell on eBay and they have to sell the stuff. The homeowner wants his stuff gone. Plus, they want to make money too, you know, because they get a percentage. Usually they get like between 20 and 30% from each sale. So obviously, something that has $180 on, it's better for them to try to get the 180 or 150 or whatever it is than for you to come in with $35.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there were times I had bought this one thing. What the hell? I'm trying to even remember it. I got to go over to my seat. I'm starting to get my back and my things are bothering me.
Okay, before
I had,
before we get further with that, I just want to say
sure.
hi to everyone over here in the chat because
Oh,
they've been
sure.
patiently waiting for your
I didn't know they
your
came in
arrival,
yet.
man. Yeah, man, they were all waiting for you, man.
Oh,
That's the. I'm telling you, you're the shining star right now, man. You're becoming one of the greats right now. So what's up, Cajun? Thanks for being here. We got Andy Sameta. Good to see you. We got Gateway Pickers. We have Tracy. Tracy, uniquely me. To see you. We have Deep Fried Deals. How's it going? We've got Caffeinated Christie. How's it going? Gate City Picker. Good to see you. Caffeinated Christie. Get Key Lime Kisses. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a lovely evening. We've got Wendy, Fat Girl Sewing. Good to see you. We got Natalie. Good to see you. Who else we have here? We got Susie. What's up, Susie? We got Flipper over here. Good to see you. We got Matt. What's up, Matt? With the heavy Leslie turn on you to an estate sale.
They turn
It
on
wasn't
me.
heavy, it wasn't heavy Leslie, right? That texted you to go there.
No, this was
Okay.
Ronnie, a woman
Okay.
named Ronnie.
Oh, okay.
She's a woman. I guess it's short for Veronica or something.
Okay.
And
Marrakech, good to see you. Thanks for stopping
oh,
by.
you like this, right? I didn't mean to. I didn't know I was going to wear my vintage box. Well, this isn't really. I wouldn't even really call this vintage. I have another one which I would call vintage because it's over 20 years old. But this is uh I think maybe like 2004 or 5. So I can't it's still T-Mobile. T-Mobile is not. If it's T-Mobile, it can't be that old.
Yeah, no, but it's still a long time ago, man.
Well, that's not. I mean, my other one I have is from the 90s. So it's a little bit older. But I was just happy
Yeah.
because obviously it was very hot. Well, not very hot, but it was like in the 80s.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was able to go out today, this afternoon, and I had, I always want to wear a jersey, always when it's hot out. But I haven't been able to wear this jersey like in 2 years. So, because for obvious reasons, because I was like, you know, but since I've been trying to eat a little bit healthier lately, and even throughout the COVID, I really wasn't eating that much, even though I was eating crappy food.
Yeah.
But I've probably lost easily 15 pounds, in the last few months, at least 5 pounds a
Wow.
month.
That's really
Yeah,
good, man.
yeah.
That's really good. Oh, wow,
Well,
Susie,
super
thank you
chat.
so much. Wow, that's amazing. I appreciate that. Seriously. I love when channels can finally get super chat. Yeah, I know it's pretty cool. I do love me some Krillin knowledge. About yeah, man, I love that yard sale mentality thing that you brought up because like I completely understand exactly what you're saying.
And I could tell you seem like a shy guy. I know you don't seem like a boisterous but that doesn't mean bad in a way, because sometimes a lot of these women, they don't like, 'cause it's mostly run by women. And when some of these guys, they come in, they get too aggressive, and I see this all the time. When a lot of guys are like, "Hey, come on, let's do X, let's do Y," whatever it is. Like they'll pick up an item, they'll pick up, these vitamins or something. Come on, let's do. They
Yeah,
get turned off because, especially when it's early in the day, because you're not going to overpower them. They would rather say, you know what? No, this is the price. Go away.
yeah,
Sometimes when you're a little bit more coy, friendly, how you doing? But whatever it is, and you're looking at the item, you put the item down, you put the item back, you put the item back. Kind of wait. This is a negotiating tactic in general. It's always you'd rather have them pull you than you push them. It's just in general. So when you have this item, you put it down, and they notice you look at it. Oh, I'm interested in that. Yeah, you know what? Then they'll say, they'll ask you, what do you want to do on that? See, that's when I come out and say that I'm a reseller. Okay. Because I know
you,
some people say I'm reselling.
so you think that's all right? Like as soon as like they ask you that, you can say, "Listen, I'm a reseller." Like
Well,
that's okay to bring up right
well,
and then.
well, what I would say is, like, let's say like I had bought it was a model of it's kind of hilarious. It was like from the 1950s. It was a toy model that you put together of like a V8 Chevrolet engine, General Motors Chevrolet motor.
Yeah,
And it was so funny. You could tell how old it was because it has a picture of the model on the box, right? And the father is with the son putting the model together on the box, and the father has a cigarette in his mouth. Like you would never see a father with a cigarette playing with his son, or a cigar.
yeah,
Or that
yeah,
that's a tell. That's how you can tell that it's so old.
yeah.
So he had the cigarette in his mouth. So, so what was I saying? So he had that cigarette, And so the woman, she had the model that was like, whatever, $120 on the box, because it was sealed. A lot of it was still sealed in a package, never put together anything. And it was on a second day, and she saw me looking at it, and then I was like, you know what, $100. She's like, oh, what about we're doing half price? I says, you know what, I do sell on eBay. It sells for around 100. You know,
I see.
I really got to pay like $30 for it. And then it's like, well, what about 40? I says, you know what, it's gonna be hard to pack. You know what, I'll think about it, and then I'll, not like sometimes people think when they're too tough that they can out tough people. Come on, you gotta do that. Especially it's different when you're dealing with women. Some they don't want you to be so aggressive when it comes to this stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's a big turnoff when you're like trying to, because you know what it is? It shows that you're like trying to overpower them when you say, come on, let's do this. So come on, blah, 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 blah. They think you're trying to overpower them, and then it turns them off, and then they don't want to negotiate anymore. And then they have like this mechanism which says like, look, this is the price. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. But when you start talking nicely, you say, look, that's at the point where I say, I just want to, I resell. They wouldn't, and this is always the way this is what I use. This is the words, the language. I say, it's not enough room for me to make profit. Sounds, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sounds
I mean,
better.
you're being honest, but I mean, at the same time, it doesn't sound too harsh at the same time.
Exactly. Say, you know what? Not enough room. I resell. I'm gonna have to do a lot of, and you know what? A lot of these people that run these companies, most of them have done eBay because they end up with stuff at the end of the sale sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's always easier to negotiate with people that have actually done eBay
True.
than people who haven't done eBay. For example, like I have a guy who I do consignment for. He'll give me stuff and I'll sell it for him, whatever it is. But he's done eBay before. So he knows it's a lot of work, because I know a lot of people say, oh my God, I get stuck with, with people, that they don't want to pay and da, da, da. But when you find people that's already done it, and if you make it like worst case scenario, like if you say, look, it might not sell, we might not get much for it, I have to pack it, you explain, and you would go, obviously you exaggerate, say, I have to do this, and I have to, and which it is a lot of work. There's no denying it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if you like push them away, like, look, I have to do this, and I have to get 50% because look, it's gonna take, because for them, their time is valuable. That's why they don't want to list it themselves. So they understand that you have to make money. Once you put it like that, you know what I mean? Then that's when they'll say, no, come back. Because you know what? They know the next step for those items is either the garage sale where they get nothing, or they get very little, or Salvation Army, where they're not going to get
They donate it. Yeah.
I mean, of course, if they want to donate to a good cause, it's a solely separate issue. But if it's a matter of just disposing of it,
they're better off just making the deal.
Exactly. So it's just the language. But I got so tempted. There was so many items there. Can you do a screen share? Or I know Tommy always does the screen shares.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can do it through the phone though. I've never done it through. Oh, you want me to check it out? Like,
yeah. I just want to show you this, but I just want to show you like what I do. Like
if you sure.
Yeah, go on the thing and then go to estatesales.net.
Okay.
I just want to show you as a person, like if it was you, because they had a lot of stuff that like a lot of items I think that you would like. That you like, I just like to know, would you want to go to this sale? Like if this was was advertised and you saw it. So let's do it.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Oh, Lance, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Oh, we have a lot of new people here. So
nice.
Tommy,
see, that's what happens. You got to show them a little action.
You got to show them the love, man. Like, we got Tommy over here. Thanks for being here, man. We got Andy's like Arsenal.
No, it's not Arsenal. It's FC Bayern. And this is what I was showing Tommy the other day. I think it was it Tommy? this is the flag of Bavaria. This is similar like the BMW. This is what we were talking about. It's a white and it's a red.
Tracy, thank you so much. Any gabagoo today?
That Tracy, I would be afraid Tracy would yell at me if I had that today. Actually, I just had I had a chicken Caesar wrap on a wheat wrap. I know wraps are still not the best, but that's probably the only carbs that I had was that wheat wrap. I didn't have any chips. I had a seltzer, plain seltzer. So I mean, I don't know how much less I'm going to reduce my sodium and carbohydrates. I mean, I really, if one wrap a day and a little Caesar dressing for the whole day is going to kill me, then I might as well just stab myself. You know what I mean?
Hey Sam, how's it going, man? Hey, congratulations on the little baby boy you had there. Everyone, make sure you say congratulations to Daddy Tiger now.
Now, where is the Dapper Tiger? I seen him on I know I have him on Facebook, but I don't know where does he live?
I think he's in Illinois.
Illinois?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in Illinois.
So are you able to pull that site up, or is it?
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
What's up, Calvin? How's it going? Okay.
Okay.
There
good.
you go.
See. Okay, so I guess you can put my zip code is 11510. I mean, even though it was about 20 miles away from my house. Took about 30 minutes. So now, is there a map view?
Oh, it's still
Okay.
loading.
So it is all right. So it is loading. It looks like it's loading. Just okay. There it goes. So now so just as a frame of reference,
Holy
that's
crap.
where, yeah, yeah, that's where I am. That's Long Island. Now, if you could see, maybe you can hover over. You see where New York City is?
Over here?
Yeah, like can you see? It's very small for me, but that's fine. I'm sure you can see it fine. But you can hover over like Manhattan. You can see where that is.
What the heck is going on?
Yeah, so it's probably working a little slow. So, as you can see, I'm east of New York City. So, and now most of those listings, I don't know, maybe you can do, I don't know, because day then time, because they're doing a second day tomorrow, which I was tempted to go back, but not really that tempted. I hope we're not out of that range because it was a little bit out, but not too far out. Yeah, no, the other direction to the island. You're going to to New Jersey. Yeah. Okay.
There?
Yeah, but no, maybe, and also if you can get rid of where it says 10 days or something, if you just do like, it's like too many, cause that's why so many, because like that thing is like too many days showing up. You see that up there?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, should I put like tomorrow or?
Yeah, you could put tomorrow because that would work because that would be, it's not.
There's still a lot.
Wow. How could that be? So many days tomorrow. That's impossible. Scroll down to the list view. No, you see under the map, there's like a list view instead of the map view. Instead of having to click on each, because I can't believe how much. Yes, you see that top one says Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, was that made tomorrow? Oh, you know what it is too? A lot of them are. I think we were talking about this. They're using that Auction Ninja site.
Yes.
It's
I've heard of them.
Yeah, it's like a local pickup. So they're doing the estate sale. You don't come in. So click on that one. So click on that Gold Coast. Now, yeah. So obviously they put the map in there. Like you see how this is it's just nicely easily laid out, right? For you, like
Yeah.
this is like we call user friendly. So like she gives you a short description, and now you go through all the pictures, right? Usually they put some of the better items first, but so you kind of have to scroll through. You're like, nah, 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 nah. And then, oh, there's some glass. Maybe Tim is here, you know. you know. But so that's what I usually judge by the house, in the neighborhood how the nice clothes are going to be. But there really wasn't any. I mean, it was the clothing was like from Old Navy and stuff like that. I mean, this house is
Hmm.
probably like $1.5 million, but that just because people live in a house that's $1 million plus house doesn't mean that they're going to have expensive clothes. The jewelry, I don't know about the jewelry. Oh, you see, like the clothing, like you see, that's what I look for up there.
Yeah.
Like I'll try to like look. Yeah, you see, like I'll like kind of, even though it's not pictured, but you can kind of tell sometimes from the side. You can tell what kind of hangers, if they use like an expensive kind of hanger.
Okay, so
If it's
based on this, it's like regular, like
crap,
mix of, yeah,
like they have clothes. You ever heard of like now when you scroll down, that's more the kid stuff. Did you see like
yeah. It's
the
like their room.
baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you scroll down, you'll see like the baseball cards and stuff.
Oh, okay. It's got some Legos.
Okay, now like something like that, you see how it's a big picture.
Yeah.
That they usually whenever it's like a bigger picture, they're usually either A, the company's going to probably charge up for it, or B, there's going to be a lot of people looking to get it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
Because like that, it's always like if you see Legos, it's best if you see it like in a pile, and then you could just see like the small Lego logo. So now what's that? Oh, now you see like that other electronic
Video
stuff.
games. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
GameCube.
yeah.
Someone
Like this is
just
probably
matched that.
long gone. But you see how she's focusing on that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Like
then
if
the
that
bike.
stuff was there, like I would definitely go here.
Yeah, but that's what happened. But especially the video, like as we know, the video game market is like,
He's
what's
got
that
like
now?
classic.
Oh,
He's got like SNES games,
oh wow.
but I'm not sure how good NHL '95 is now. Um, but yeah, he's got some really old games.
Now that those are that's SNES with the box. Obviously, it's worth more money.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oops.
Oh, did you? But you should put your zip code in. See if it. Oh no, but they might not have it because of the corona. So
Yeah, I don't know if they'll have it in Canada either. I don't know. I never even got a
yeah.
chance to.
Well, it's all over America, United States. So I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't have them in Canada. I mean, especially in your area. I mean, you might not find any where your friend lives in, Yellowknife, but you know, what's the other one? Whitehorse or something like that.
Whitehorse. That's in
Is
like
there?
Northwest Territories and Yukon
Yeah,
Territories.
yeah, the Yukon. I mean, there, you know, you live in the Yukon. I don't know what else you're gonna get up there. Some fish or something.
All right, so let's backtrack a bit. I wanna just get into more of a history of Krillin just for a brief moment over here. So like, I just wanted to know exactly like, when did you start like doing reselling and stuff?
All right. Well, if you want to go back, obviously you want to know the history.
Yeah.
I first started selling on eBay in the very early 2000s, before I even owned my restaurant. Okay, so I was first still going to college, and I was buying and selling cars. I would buy and I had a buddy of mine. We would buy cars and then and flip them. We would look for cars that needed work, and that's usually how you make money selling cars. Is if you find a car that either needs body work or it needs mechanical work.
Hmm.
So, a lot of times because people would just want to like people have a truck and it needs an engine. So they just get rid of it for a couple of $100 because it's not worth it. So what we would do, my friends and I, so if you buy like, we would deal a lot with the Mustang. That used to be a very popular car. Do you remember like the 5.0 Mustang?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like years ago that was a very popular car. And what happened was um, if you bought one that needed a transmission or something, whatever it is, what you would want to do is you would want to find another one that was a parts car, something that was in an accident, something, maybe it had something else wrong with it. Like I said, maybe it was hit. So then what you do is that's how the business works. So now that you have one clean car that needs an engine or a transmission or something like that. Well, we would even buy 4-cylinder Mustangs, okay, or shells with no motor or transmission. And then you buy another Mustang that has the engine and transmission in it. Then you take that one from the wrecked car with the motor and transmission. You put that into the clean body. You sell that clean body, right? With the as a working car, and then that carcass that you have left, the car that
Yeah.
was hit, you just take the rest of the parts, the interior, everything from the quarter glass, the rear end, the rims, everything. You just sell that individually. Now,
Right.
when I first started doing that, I wasn't selling the parts online. I was only really selling the cars themselves online. Okay, because at the time in the early 2000s, if I put an ad in for Mustang parts, okay, I would get 20 calls in one day, because there were, in early 2000s, the internet, it wasn't the same. I know it's kind of hard, make it sound like, oh, in my day, you know, you know, in the early 2000s, I'm talking about like 2001, two, the internet was not the same as it was, as is. And it's like how people talk all the time about eBay, like, oh, you have to wait for a check, and then you had to wait for it. And that and that happened too. You would have, when you sold a car, and people would play games with this, because they would send you a check and then they would say, oh, I want to come tomorrow and pick up my car. No. Check has to clear, and then you could pick up the car. People are always trying to scam, but that goes with, look,
Yeah.
that goes for 2020, 2001, 1800. It doesn't matter what year it is. They're always looking at someone to scam. Was enough small talk. Go get into the shipping tips. Yeah, I didn't ship that. And that's the thing that's weird. I had a good day. I sold that. I had a Gucci overcoat. I got like $350 for.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a nice sale. But it's weird. It's like, okay, great. I had a good day. I sold a few other things. And then today I had goose eggs. You know what I mean? Like, how weird is that? I've been busy. It's, like, I don't think I sold one item the whole day.
Yeah, no, it happens to me too. I get that.
Oh, but you have a job. I don't have a job, so.
Yeah, no, but like it's crazy how that happens though. Like the way the whole pattern is with, like, you can literally be getting like sales and sales every day, and then all of a sudden, just one day, it's just an off day.
Goose eggs. So,
what's up, Drew?
Okay, everybody else you check. How many people do you have in the chat?
We got Sinister. We have 30 people in the chat right now.
Okay, 30 people.
Very nice.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Hopefully other people are sharing it.
Do you travel to Jersey for sourcing?
No. What happens is, New Jersey, it's I know people will look on a map, it looks like it's not that far, but it is very hard to get to, because number one, it's a lot of gas to get there. Okay. Number two, you have to pay tolls. When you go over George Washington Bridge, I think it's like almost $20. I know it's like, it sounds crazy. Because that's people who are from the countryside.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, it's not that far. It's just 20 miles away. It's just 25 miles. You could just, but they don't realize you have to pay, like I said, the gas, the tolls, and the traffic driving through New York City. When you drive through the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, like it's there's. Oh, can you see me? Did I jump out?
Yeah. No, I can see you.
I think I have to I think I gotta sit here and charge up while I'm talking.
Okay.
What happens is, when you're in New York City, there's always traffic. It doesn't matter which time of the day. So, I mean, yes, I have traveled. I traveled far. Actually, I traveled upstate New York. I think I told you guys a story. I did that Auction Ninja site, and And I got lucky. I kind of got lucky. There was other stuff that they didn't list it properly. So that's what you have to get lucky on those sites like that, Auction Ninja. That they didn't really list the items properly, and the pictures they kind of showed one thing, but they didn't show the other picture. But I knew that, and then maybe the other people did. So, and it was also far away. I had to drive literally like 2.5 hours to get there.
Oh wow,
Bridge traffic,
that's
exactly.
so. Like even now
But it
though,
was still worth it.
there's still traffic now until you think
Yeah,
there would still be yeah.
yeah. If you do a quick like a Google Earth or something like that, you type in an address
Yeah.
like in wherever it is, you'll see any time of day the BQE. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if there's protests. It doesn't matter if there's hurricane. It doesn't matter if there's corona. Makes no difference. There's always on certain things. There's just always traffic. It's a super busy city. It wasn't like that years ago, but now it's just so much busier than it was. You know, a lot of people driving deliveries. Everything is Uber. I mean, there's tons of Uber. You every other car when you're driving on the highway is Uber.
Yeah. Oh jeez.
But with the eBay, like I said, I was selling cars, and I probably sold. I want to say maybe I probably sold between 10 and 20, maybe 15, something like that, somewhere in that range, 16
Hey
cars.
Danny, that's pretty good, man. Like so that's within a span of like how long? Like were you doing the cars for?
Yeah, see, that's the thing is I was doing things simultaneously. I was always doing things simultaneously. Like I was going to school originally, and my friend Vinny, he helped me out. He kind of taught me how to do. He taught me a lot about life. This guy he owned a pizzeria close by the college I was going to. So he owned the pizzeria, and then he was like, I don't know, maybe he wasn't even 40 years old, and I was like 20, I guess. Yeah, so maybe is he 20 years older than me? No, less than 20, maybe 15 years older than me. And so maybe I was like 20, 21, and he was maybe like 35, 36, whatever it is. And he was the nicest guy I ever met. And he taught me all these things about negotiating. And he would be sitting there making he was because he had the pizzeria, so he would always be very friendly to his customers, and he'd be making pizza and then talking to you, telling you a story. Oh, I picked, and because since he bought and sold cars, because he always had like a classic car in front of the pizzeria. So since he bought and sold cars, he would kind of teach me how to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Nice.
oh,
Yeah.
like little tricks. Like he's like even when you take pictures of like a car, because like one car I was having some trouble with, and he's like, you know what it is? You're taking too many pictures of the flaws. He's like, you want to show that the car has flaws, but people automatically assume that you're not showing stuff in the pictures. So if you like put too many flaws, people are gonna, they're going to assume there's even more. He's like, just you want to be honest, but it's like, and also he would always say like when you put a car for sale, he's like, you don't want to put too many like describers. Like some people would put like when they would put like a car, like they would put, you know, uh, 1999 300ZX, um, and they would put like power windows, AC, this thing, leather interior. Like they'd put too many like people. All you need to put is 5-speed or manual, and fully loaded in the ad or something like that. But he taught me a lot with the eBay. How to take the pictures and the way you cock the wheel a little bit, make it look a little aggressive look, so it looks good on
Mhm.
eBay. Looks good, and
See you, Tim. Thanks for stopping by, man.
but he taught me tricks too, how to like not how to I don't mean deceive people, but like how to negotiate with people. Like like, oh, you want to discourage people when you go there. You always like that's always a thing. Like we were just talking about this. You always want to you want to put the car down. You never want to be too interested in the car.
Yeah.
You never, when you're buying anything, you never want to seem too interested. Even if you meet a girl and you never want to seem too interested. because then you don't want to lose the leverage. So they have to go to sleep. Hopefully this tropical. Oh my god, I didn't even get up to the storm yet. This
Oh,
was, I mean, so
be
make a
safe,
story
Natalie.
short. Oh, it's too bad. I enjoy Natalie. Um, the what was I saying? That he taught me, Vinny. Um, how to negotiate. Like he would say, you know what you do? Have your friend call up about the car first, and the car is say an automatic. Then you have your friend call up and say, "Is this car 5-speed?" And the guy's gonna say, "No, it's an automatic." I was looking for a 5-speed. Then you have other people just calling, you know, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, oh, it doesn't have T tops. That's a shame. I was looking for T tops." And then when you call up, then you say, "Okay, you know what? I'll come take a look at it." So you've already had a few people to kind of like, you know, Vinny with the pizzeria. Nothing cliche about that. Yeah, no, he actually had pretty good pizza. Amori pizza.
Yeah,
He had good pizza. Not the best. He wasn't known for his pizza, but he was more known for his personality and his service. And then he just married a rich woman, and now it's a lot. Now he just sells cars out of his house, but on different. I guess he's using like Craigslist, and Facebook, and different stuff like that. Now, oh wait, Krillin, what is your favorite? I can't really. Can you see it? It's kind of small.
what's your favorite memory from your teens?
Favorite memory. Well, early teens or later teens? Because teens go a while. Maybe we can check back up. You mean like the 13, 14, or like 18, 19?
I think in
So
general, like in your teens, like
I don't know, but it's a long. But it's different because when I don't think it's kind of weird because it's like when I was 12, 13, it's like you're like a child and you're just experiencing things. And I mean, even though when you're 18, 19, but it's kind of almost like you're an adult and you're doing more adult things. So it's like different kind of experiences
I see what
than,
you mean. Okay,
like if it was when I'm 13, it's like the first time I went to Madison Square Garden or something, whatever it was, or it's different. Like, when I was 18, 19, when I had my girlfriend, and then we did, we went everywhere. We went to, you know, you know, please
please
don't take
don't
this.
take
If you like a
advice
girl,
from. Let her know.
let her know. Well, no, I definitely wouldn't say that. I definitely think Tracy's wrong on that. You definitely don't want to let her know. If you don't, girls like mystery, and you have to be a little mysterious. If you put everything out like it's like this, then it's kind of like you need something for them to come figure out. They have to figure it out. If you give them everything in one shot, then that's not going to work out.
I don't
So did
know.
they ask again? What they said? Younger teens or older teens? No.
Uh, Susie said making him think.
Okay. I always feel bad. Always forget people's names. I don't forget who people are and their stories and what they do, but always sometimes, because I think like Tommy would talk about. There's a lot of people that are hustlers and thrifters, and a lot of similar kind of. So it's like, okay, is this? And a lot of people don't put their face, and I didn't put my face either. So
Okay, let's go with late teens. Like what?
my late teens probably was, you know, the best time was 1997 to going to 1998. And there was, a 1 year period from that time. And, I had met, the love of my life. And, things didn't work out. But we worked together at, there was a department store called Stearns. I don't know. In Canada, do you have Macy's?
No, we don't. That's U.S. only.
Yeah. So Stearns was like a part of Macy's. It was kind of like it's not really. I wouldn't call it lower end, but it's more. It is more. It was. They didn't have like in that time they didn't have like the Tommy Hilfiger and Polo and that kind of stuff. but they did have like Levi's and like Calvin Klein, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, and then, because like they have they call federated department stores where Stearns was like the, still a quality store, but not high end. They would have like, you've heard of like you can get like a Fossil watch there, not something for like $50, nothing like, you're not buying a Rolex there, but it's still decent stuff there. And
Yeah.
then they have Macy's, which I don't know, you're familiar with Macy's, right? Or
Oh yeah.
you
Been
don't have,
there.
you what?
Whenever I cross the border, I've been to Macy's before.
Yeah, so Macy's is their middle store, which is still a nice store. I mean, Macy's is still decent. They have, Ralph Lauren and other stuff like that and
Mhm.
whatever. And then they have Bloomingdale's, which is their higher end, which they have, you know, the Italian brands and different stuff like that. That's their three tiers. So they had Stearns, and I worked um part time as like a cashier. That was a nerve wracking job because like things were kind of antiquated with the computer, and I was never good. Even when I was young, I was never good with the computer systems. And during Christmas time, it was very stressful because you would literally have like a line mile long during Christmas. People want to pay; they're buying clothes for it because, and the girl, her and I, her name is Elizabeth, and we worked in the children's section, and that's how and it's always good when you meet somebody that you work with. It's good because I know some people always say, oh, don't meet work, where you eat, whatever it is, but it's like you sometimes it's good, you get to see somebody's character, especially you get to see people's character under pressure, you know what I mean, when you're working with them under different situations, not just somebody. I mean, it's easy, everybody's going to be friendly when you meet somebody in a bar or restaurant or something like that, they're relaxed. But when you're in a situation where it's you have to take care of things, and you get to see if somebody's lazy, if they're not lazy because you're working with them. But we worked together in the what would I say, at the department store.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like that was the best time of my life. You know, we did it. We went to all the movies and we went to all these places. We not really traveled, but we did a lot of stuff on the weekends, and you know, but that was definitely like if you say the best time of my life,
Early
for sure.
memorable.
Definitely the most memorable.
Yeah.
You know, but things didn't work out, and then life goes on. I didn't, like I said, I never expected 20 years ago in 2000 that I'm going to be 40 years old and I'm going to be here in a basement in a room full of clothing. You know,
Yeah.
I never, this is not something I ever would dream about. I never even, or nightmare about, or whatever. You know,
Any good flea markets in Long Island area?
yes, there's one. There's actually a lot of videos on YouTube. Um, it's called the name of the town is called Belmore, and it's in the train station of Belmore on Long Island, because we have trains that go back and forth because it's a Long Island, just straight train.
Mhm.
And it what was I saying? People go there from far, all over, and it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday. The Sunday flea market. People, it's one of those ones where people get there at like 5 a.m. Actually, a lot of people sleep there overnight to get the right spots. Now I go there, because I have people that say, "Oh, why don't you sell some stuff there?" I says, "No, no, I'll go there to buy." It's actually a very good sourcing opportunity if you kind of know who's there. Like I have one guy, I have no idea what his source is. I have no idea where he's getting stuff, but he gets a lot of outdoors kind of stuff. Okay, like um, leather jackets, hunting. I still have actually in that death pile. It sounds kind of weird because I still have stuff in the death pile that was from like October when I bought it from him that I didn't even get the list, that I still have it buried under there. But we'll all get to our death piles. Um, so
See, mystery doesn't work for Wendy. Can't. You gotta tell her that you like her.
nah, but yeah, mystery. You trust me. You're saying that now, but depending on situation, it's just it's. That's just the way it is. So yeah, the intrigue. It's intriguing. You say, oh,
Yeah.
because if that's the thing. Women want to be excited. They want you to be. You just say, oh yeah, I'm just a regular guy, and then it's like, well, regular guy. You can get a regular guy anywhere. Um. So, um, that was the nine. That was so. Oh, actually, we kind of went to the early 2000s, and then went back to the late 90s. So, but the late 90s was, and then we also went to the same college, to Nassau College. Um, that was an
Storage
experience
auction
going to
release.
college with my girlfriend. And then that's when I got into. Then later on, that's what I did. I was doing three things at a time. I was doing college. So I had four things on my mind because this is after we had broken up. I was going to college for accounting, and I was going to college. I was working as a bartender at night. I was selling cars, and at the same time, I was thinking about opening my own restaurant. Okay, this is the early 2000s, and then throughout the whole time, I uh, I was always still buying cars, selling cars. And it was always cool because I was very into classic cars. Maybe let's do another screen share. Maybe we can do that.
Okay.
Maybe I'll show you a picture of. I had two cars that are memorable to me that I drove. Actually, I bought them and I made profit with them, but I drove them before I sold them. So if you could screen
What?
share,
Yeah.
I
What do
had
you want me to search for?
a white 1965 Chevy Impala. This was one of my favorites. If I had money, I'd buy another one, but I'd buy a convertible probably.
Chevy Impala. Oh, damn. That's a. Is that the one?
I don't see. Oh, yep. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's a beautiful looking car. Especially it looks better for the grill looks really nice if you can pick a big picture of like the grill. You know, it's really. I mean, look how sharp that looks. You know,
Looks clean.
really clean looking. Those lights in the back. I love the way. I mean, those are like some professional pictures. Like that. You know, I mean, some of these are like showroom cars. Mine obviously was not a showroom car, but I did really well with the car. I bought it for like 3 grand and sold it for like 5 or 6 grand, something like that, 5,500. So
Okay. It's not bad.
and and it was kind of weird because it was like I registered it, I was driving and this and that, and some guy just was like, oh, I really because this guy he wanted to make it like I don't know if he made it a low rider or something. I have no idea, but he uh he was like, yeah, I'll give you the 6 grand for it. And then I agreed. I says, and because you know what it is when somebody and of course I was reluctant to sell it because I liked it, but you know what it is? It's like I bought it for resale, and when you're gonna double your money on 3 grand, and I just bought it, it's just like, I'll take 3 grand, So, and then the guy ended up going to jail, and that was a whole other story. I was gonna try to get the car back, but you know, he went to prison. It's a whole nother story.
Still the flea market in Levittown, or maybe it was in
Well, they have
Massapequa.
they have an indoor flea market in Levittown. Um, and they used to have another one too in Massapequa also. They had like, but these I don't know if you would you call that a flea market, like, um, an indoor, but it's like there's vendors there like, and they have the same spot, and they're
Yeah,
there like, yeah,
that would be considered a flea market.
yeah. But like the other one is different. Like the one I was talking about with the Belmore
Yeah.
is, it's once a week. That's it. It's not like 3, 4 days a week or whatever it is. It's once a week, and it's what's I gonna say? It's once a week, and it's I can't even think. Boom. And what was I say? It's once a week, at the flea market at the and it's in a train station parking lot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So the other one is an indoor, like that one that's in. Actually, what they did was it kind of got slow because a lot of these indoor flea markets got very slow. So what they did was they cut half of it out and they put a thrift store in there, unique. Yeah, refurbished Chevy Impala. 64 is actually to some people is more desirable than the year I had. I like my year better, but the 64 is like, like you've heard it, rolling in my six foot. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the. But I like the bigger body. I like the swoop back, and it looks like a bigger car. It has a bigger look. It has a better looking grill. It has its bars down. And now let's do one more screen share, and that's it. So
Okay.
then there was my other car that I had that I used to cruise around in, which you might think might look a little bit cooler. N-
Or which one is
nine-
it?
1967 Buick Riviera. Yeah, okay. Okay. Black. Yeah. Now,
Oh, I
like
love the
that.
front end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like that picture down there, like you can see, yeah, like that one. It has what they call hideaway headlights. The headlights flip up into the grill,
Oh, okay.
and then when you
That's nice.
I think you push a button or you pull something. I don't even remember now. Then the headlights come down. But of course, they really didn't work that well because it's the car was 40 years old or whatever. So we see like those pictures. Now do you see it with the headlights down?
Yeah. Oh, here. Okay, and that's with it up.
No, that's a different year. That's actually a 60 something else, 63. The other one up there, you see that? That's
On this one.
yeah, like that's see how well, okay, it has the lights on the side, but then in the middle in that grill, that's when the lights come down. Like right there, that's where the lights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a really cool car. It was a
I
sharper
like that
looking
car.
car. What's up?
No, I like it. I like that car.
Yeah, it was a sharper looking car. The other, it had more stuff to it, which when you have classic cars, that's one thing that's a drawback. When you have like the other one I had, that Chevy Impala. See, the Impala was a nice looking car, but it was kind of like a base model car. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
years ago, not every car had power windows and power. You know what I mean? Like it had roll up.
You
You remember
going?
roll up? You remember roll up windows?
Oh, I used to have a roll up window car. I
Okay.
had like, yeah, I think the first one I actually was in with the roll up windows when my dad bought I think it was a GMC Safari
Yeah.
in the
So people
front.
don't. Yeah, people don't remember the roll up windows. Like now, it's like, and even air conditioning. People are like, no air conditioning. So there was no air conditioning in the car. In the actually neither car worked. The Riviera worked, but heavy Leslie. Yeah. So, but the Riviera was really. You see how it has that sharp, that sleek look, and it was triple black. It was a black car with a black vinyl roof and black interior. So it was like really sharp looking. And I remember I went on a date with this girl. It was a one and only date. I don't even remember this girl's name. I met her. This was like when Match.com first started, like something like that. And I picked her up in Queens because like I'm out in Long Island. Queens is on the way, and then I drove to we drove on a little car date. We drove through Manhattan with that cool car. I was like, oh, I'll show her, because it's a cool looking car. Cruise around. It was a nice summer night.
Good night,
Just
Susie.
and then drive and we'll just drive around with that cool car. But it was kind of weird. I had to stop a few times because a lot of times the old car you start to overheat, and it's like, oh shit, you don't want to last thing you want to do is be with a car, and then it's like overheating.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's pretty stereotypical. The Cutlass.
Cutlass, the Cuddy.
Yeah, yeah. You know that car. I mean, some of them are really nice Cutlasses. You know, I always wanted. There's a night it's called the Grand National. You ever hear that?
I've heard of it. Yeah,
Yeah, the Buick Grand National. It's the same body type, body style, but it's got T tops and chrome wheels and different, and it has a turbo engine. It's really cool car. Buick Wildcat. That was older. That was old Buick Wildcat. And gas tank. That's what I had. Gas tank behind the license plate. That's how it was. But I didn't need leaded engine because they had swapped the motor with a newer motor. But I used to cruise around with that. That's where I really enjoyed it. And then unfortunately I had bought another one. I'd found one cheap. I don't even remember where I bought it, but unfortunately when I opened my first restaurant, I was struggling to make payroll, and it was a car I kept for myself, and then I had to sell the one car real cheap just to make the payroll, and that was heartbreaking. You know what I mean?
hmm
So yeah, and I had the restaurant from like 2005 to like 2008 when the economy took a dive. You know, uh, that was like really heartbreaking when I had to leave when I had to close the restaurant down. Because you had your heart into a business. I mean, I could do a whole show about the restaurant business. You know, and that's another thing too. I was thinking about maybe making a YouTube channel about my experience in the restaurant business, and people who want to get into certain businesses like that, because like this thing is, I had a brick and mortar, you know, and it's, you know, the stuff that you have to go through, and it's not easy.
I
It's
think
really
that's a
hard.
great idea, man. That's a great idea. Like, I'm sure because people think it's like even like with reselling, people think it's so easy, but there's always hard parts. There's always down like negative
Pitfalls.
parts to it. Yeah,
I wish I had YouTube at the time. There was no YouTube, or there may have been. I know someone said, "Oh no, there was a YouTube." I don't know. There was no YouTube as we know it.
yeah.
I didn't. I had a flip phone. Everybody had a flip phone. Actually, no. A kid worked for me had the other phone. What was that? The Sidekick. Do you remember the Sidekick?
Oh, the one with the keyboard, like the little keypad.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
had
that.
a.
Other,
I had
yeah, I
a.
remember that.
I couldn't stand that because this kid was working for me, and he had that Sidekick, and I'd be talking to him, and he'd be like texting and this and that. I'm like, Chris. His name was Chris too. I said, Chris, we got to do the specials. What are we doing on special this evening? Because he was a cook in the kitchen, and we are trying to like. And I said that was my biggest thing is that I, when any business like that you go into, especially a restaurant, you have to know how to do all phases of the business. You have to know all phases, not just well, I'm good at X or I'm good at Y. You have to be able to do everything A to Z. I had a partner that I relied on because I was more the front of the house guy, and he was the back of the house guy, meaning back of the house, the kitchen, front of the house is the dining room, the service. And I always knew that because I had been working in the business. But when my partner backed out of the deal, he says, I don't want to do it. Then I was I learned on the fly how to run a back of a house. And, you know, I didn't know, I had no idea even how many pounds of chicken was in a case of chicken or sausage or, you have to know how to order that. I mean, it seems when you go to a restaurant they have everything there and they order everything, but when you don't know, you have to figure out, because that's the challenge. There's two challenges in the restaurant business: is your staff and how much food to order, because obviously you want to keep the optimal goal is to keep great food and great service.
Right,
So when the balancing act is, you don't want to order too much food because then you have spoilage. But at the same time, you don't want to run out of food, because if you run out of food, then you disappoint people, and especially somebody. It was very hard when someone would come from a distance, because some people would say, "Oh, I drove all this way to have the chicken," and then you don't have the chicken tonight. So that was very tough. And on the staff part, the hardest part is the if you put too many waiters to work. See, waiters work on tips. I mean, obviously in Canada they tip, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, but like in Europe and in England and stuff, they don't tip or anything. So um, and if you put too many waiters, then they don't make money because you need to have people your staff has to make tips. That's where they make money. But if you put too few people on, then the service might suffer. So, and then always what would happen is, like I said, just like with the eBay business, sorry, like with the eBay business, you would have, okay, Saturday night I'm packed, Friday night was slow. So then next week, okay, I'm gonna, plan accordingly. Then next week, Friday night would be packed and Saturday night would be dead. And there was no way, like they don't call you ahead of time and say, oh, we're all coming in tonight. It just kind of like they come or they don't. Now, I'm not really big on cooking. That's why I was just saying, Danny May. I was, like I said, I was more the front of house guy. You know, the restaurant was called Bobby Basil Restaurant. That was me. I was Bobby Basil. So, um, that was me. I was the one. I was the face of the place, and that's why it was so heartbreaking to leave the place. But I I had issues with the government, with workers. I don't know. Do you know workers' compensation? Do you guys have that in Canada? Workers' compensation. I'm sure you have some type of workers'
Yeah. Some
compensation,
type of it. Yeah.
but in America, you it's the employer has to take out an insurance policy. It's not like government is paying for. Well, it's kind of like you have to buy it through. It's kind of complicating, but but if your policy lapses, um, then they cancel it, and then every day you don't have insurance. It's like $100 fine, some ridiculous amount, and then they sent me something, and then like I missed a payment. I'm like, all right, well I'll catch up on my next one. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'll just pay two bills, but then there was a fine for like $20,000 or something like that. And then I was having like hyperventilating, like, what do like you guys didn't you could just find people like that. They're like, we're the government, we could do whatever we want. They don't have to give you, they don't have to warn you that they're going to fine you. They just give you a fine. That's the way it works.
That's crazy. Places
Yeah,
might be an exception.
that's the one
Who knows?
thing that and also I was short on the sales tax, and you never want to be behind. You don't want to mess with the government. That's the one thing, and especially with the insurance, you have to make sure you have the insurance. Like that's another thing too. There's a lot of people on the internet giving false information about what's going on. We have these riots going on, and a lot of people are saying like, oh, because obviously, I'm sympathetic to the people who own the business, because people own the business. I mean, why ever people are protesting or rioting, that has nothing to do with some guy who has a bodega. I mean, he's got nothing to do with what's going on. It's not fair for somebody to throw a brick through his window or a Molotov cocktail. I mean, why should he be punished for something that he's nothing to do with? So, but people think that they're like, oh, well, they'll just get the money from the insurance. The insurance doesn't pay out like that. That's not how it works. They don't just, number one, if you have, the insurance doesn't just sit there and wait for you to file a claim. It takes months and months and months to get the money, number one. Number two, they don't pay out 100 cents on a dollar. And three, there's a lot of policies, like if the government, they call it the National Guard, which is kind of like a paramilitary type military, kind of whatever it is, in a riot that they use, state of emergency.
Hey,
Like,
Craig.
like the insurance doesn't pay out if it, you know what I mean? Because they can't, they would be like, you see like all those places that are burnt down in Minneapolis. There's no way the insurance, how's the insurance company got to pay for like a whole city to be rebuilt? You know,
That's
you know
gonna
what I
be
mean?
tough.
Yeah, they're not going to pay for that. You know what I mean? It's just, let me put this back here. It's just not going to happen. You know, so so that's why I'm always, so people, anybody, like that's, I always say in the chat, like people know me, and people always joke around and whatever it is. And, people always, I guess people just want to talk about other stuff like bullshit, whatever sometimes. But I do know about brick and mortar. So if people want to ask about brick and mortar, that's something I know about. I know about, a little bit because I had a lease. It's different when you have a commercial lease. Things are much different than when you have. I'm going to start closing up shop.
All right, man. No problem.
So when you have a commercial lease, it's a lot different than renting an apartment. Like in general in America, I don't know how it is in Canada, but like a lot of the things in the house are the responsibility of of the homeowner. So if you're renting it and the refrigerator is broken, the homeowner has to replace the refrigerator, I mean, there's some people that literally live like my friend lives in a building in Queens, New York. I mean, they can call the super to come in to change a light bulb. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I would make fun of him. It'd be like, you can't, like, it would be like a small repair. I'm like, man, you can't just fix. He's like, oh no, they have a guy that comes in and fixes, you know, but it's different. Now my kidney is starting to give me a little something, but
So are you still hurting, man? Like you're still?
yeah, yeah, it's bothering me a little bit. I'm not, trust me, if I was in excruciating pain or if it was
Yeah.
hurting me a ton, I wouldn't be able to have this conversation. I would be, it would be very painful. But I'm also concerned because what happens is the kidney stones can block your kidneys, and it's so it's not just the pain, but it's it can do damage. So that's why I've been back and forth to doctors and all that fun stuff. Wait, I know how to get banned on eBay. Nobody. Yeah, it's funny. You would think people would ask about that. About Well, it's very simple. In the time it was just, don't do drop shipping. Well, not that he was doing drop shipping. Obviously, Tom was not
Yeah.
drop shipping, but don't do drop shipping.
Did you do a 5-year with a 5-year option, Krillin, or did you go for 15 years total?
Yeah. My lease was I believe, because I didn't finish my lease. I think I was my frozen. I believe I had because the guy had a lease, but then I got a fresh brand new lease. Um, from the guy I bought the business from, because it was a restaurant before, so I was taking over existing business, but I
Oh,
got a
okay.
fresh. See, there's something called there's one thing to know about leases, which is very important. This is one thing that you want to pay attention to. Like I said, for any kind of um, if you want to if you want to open an ice cream store, if you want to, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you have something called an assignable lease. Okay, so which means it's like a transferable lease, where if somebody else wants to buy your business from you, that you can assign that lease to the next guy relatively easy without a lot of restrictions. Because what a lot of landlords do is they'll say to you, like, you'll say, all right, oh, I have a business, I want to sell it. But then they put clauses in there that makes it very hard for you to get out. So if you, what was I saying? So now I want to sell the restaurant to the other guy. But what they'll do is they'll say, okay, fine. You want to sell it to Joe Smith? You got to give me $50,000. And then you're like, wait a second. Why do I have to give you $50,000? I mean, you literally, all I'm doing is just transferring it over to another guy. He's going to pay you the rent. And then they'll say, well, you know what? I'm not going to sign it. So that's why you have to make sure you have an assignable lease with the terms already spelled out ahead of time. Where if you say, well, if somebody somebody else can take over the lease pending, if they have a certain amount of credit score or something like that, or whatever it is. That's something that's very, what was I going to say? That's something that's very important to know about the leases. Also, the big part about, see, because also when you have a business like a restaurant or something like that, you know, the, the, the value of the business is in the lease. Because if you have, I mean, there's restaurants or there's, nightclubs and stuff like that literally make tremendous money. And then when their lease is up, um, the landlord will just say, well, okay, all right, now your rent was X, now it's Y. And then there's nothing you can do about it because you don't own the land. You know, there was a restaurant by me. There's a chain. I don't know if they have them up in Canada. Called Houston's. You ever hear of that restaurant chain?
No, not there.
It's really one of my favorite restaurants. But whoops, I'm okay.
You're right.
Yeah, let's fell. I gotta be careful. I'm walking in the dark here because I gotta close this thing, but I want to grab a bottle of water before I go. So there was a restaurant chain called Houston's. It was one of the busiest restaurants, like on Long Island. I mean, they're all busy all over the country. I mean, the food is delicious. I mean, it's a really great restaurant. And I'm assuming they started in Houston, but anyway, um, they were so busy that literally when they were actually too busy because once the lease ran up, the landlord was like, okay, you guys are paying $30,000 a month rent. Now we want $60,000 a month rent. And when they assumed because they were so busy, the corporation is just gonna pay it. But they put pen to paper and they're just basically like, nah, it's not worth it. Even though, and it's kind of weird, like it's kind of like counterintuitive because they were literally like 7 days a week, literally 7 days a week, 365. They always had a wait. Like any night you wanted to go in there, it doesn't matter. Usually here in America, most restaurants in general, if you go to on a slow night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's not so busy. You can just go in. I mean, most restaurants here in general, you're busier on Friday and Saturday night. And that's when you have people. Maybe they're gonna wait for tables and they're gonna be, standing around, because if you don't have somebody waiting for tables on a Saturday night, then you're really not that busy. That's just the way it is. But they had people waiting for tables. Okay, that's why I tripped on this thing. Oh my god, what the hell is this? They had people waiting all night long for tables. So that was the point I was trying to make. Is that's how busy. But the whole point I was making is they were super busy, and that hurt them. Then because they couldn't negotiate with the landlord. The landlord is the business. The lease. And when you try to sell the business, like for example, and I think I think Tracy just put in the questions. Would I go back into business?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
And I might.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So Houston. So she knows Houston's. Oh, they're all out. They all went out. Wow. I'll tell you, it was.
What kind of food did they serve?
It was. I mean, I know it sounds stupid. It was American fare, but I don't. You got to. Tracy could probably explain the menu better, but it was. But the food was just so good. I mean, they had everything from. I mean, they had this one dish. All right, now we got one more screen share. Yeah, you got to type this in. Type in Houston's Hawaiian ribeye.
All right. It looks good.
Can't see. All right.
Damn. What's wrong with you?
Right? I mean, all this stuff. What'd you say?
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah, now you know what? Now even if you put like Houston's roasted chicken, just like their regular stuff, like everything they had was like that delicious. You see, like, I mean, how delicious does that look?
Yeah.
I know you're thinking about that ribeye now.
You're getting me hungry now.
Yeah, that ribeye. Oh, look, there's a cat. Hey, where you going, buddy? I always feel bad when I see a cat. Let me go. I gotta go check on him. I don't have any Temptations with me. Usually, sometimes I keep them Temptations in the car. I gotta. Don't distract me. I gotta make sure I.
All right, no problem.
I gotta make sure.
Hey Kelly, how's it going? Amy. Amy's in too. How are you, Amy? Good to see you. Keelan Kisses said they had one of the best spinach dip.
Yes, that was what they. Yeah, that was one of the things they were known for was the spinach dip. That was one thing. That's what people went for. See, everybody's now talking about it, right?
Oh, Tracy said they
Everybody's
have
talking.
some still. Check
Oh,
if there's any.
yeah. See if they. And they had this salad with chicken that had like a peanut dressing.
Oh, there's a bunch. There's still a bunch. I mean, there's not as many as I think maybe before, but
Oh, I think the closest one to me is New Jersey, right?
yeah, there's one in New Jersey,
Yeah. Does it say what town or no?
Bergen County.
Yeah, Bergen County is a good area of New Jersey. That's why. It's probably in the. Where'd this cat go? You know what? So yeah, Bergen County. That's an expensive area, of New Jersey. It's it's right outside the city. What was I gonna say? How's this name? Oh, well, I can't even see. You got to talk because I can't look down
Yeah,
the screen.
yeah, no problem. Sam's asking, would you do brick and mortar eBay store?
In which way? What do you mean? What do you think he means by that?
Like, I guess would you create a store of like all your items that you have, and just like rather than I guess also besides selling it on eBay, you're also selling it to people that come in because I mean you have good taste, obviously. Like
Well,
you're
that's what I want originally here. I don't know how long. Oh, wait, my back. I don't know how long we've been speaking, or I don't know what time period we came in. Okay, I gotta make sure this thing doesn't pull off.
it's like a bit over an hour 15, hour 17 right now.
No, I'm talking about how many months or years or. Well, I
Oh,
gotta check.
okay.
Yeah, did I lock the door? I locked the door, right?
I think so.
Let me double check.
Oh boy.
I was actually considering buying this store from this lady. Okay. I had a guy who I was friendly. Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Because I'm far away. I gotta make sure this is one of those, Chinese, phone holders that you get it for like $12, and I mean it works good. I mean, like I can but I'm not it's cheapo. Anywho, I had a guy, this other guy, his name is Mike, and he has an estate sales / clean out business. Okay, and I know him from he does the sales. So um, he's a younger guy. He's actually younger than me. I think he's maybe in his early 30s, but he's a hustler. He's a hardworking guy. But sometimes he's a little bit too hot headed, which is not really. I like to deal with people a little bit more even keel. Because it's hard. Sometimes when people get too excited too easily, it's hard to deal with them. So, make the story short, he has this, like I said, estate sales / clean outs that he does, right? And he would literally get so much stuff from these clean outs. That's literally like if I was in better physical condition and my health was better, I would open up a clean out company. These people make so much money. They literally charge the homeowners, like at the end of the estate sale, like
Mhm.
the homeowner literally has to pay this company to come in and clean out the house. Intuitively, doesn't that sound crazy?
Yeah, it
Like
does.
literally, it's like, oh, wait a second. We literally you know, they're not only they're not paying for the stuff, but they're literally taking everything and they're charging the homeowner. Okay. So anyway, anywho, um, so he was like, "Yeah, I get so much stuff." So we were gonna make it. We were gonna work out a deal, and where he'd be like a source, and he would be sourcing stuff for the store, and I would kind of run the store, and I'd be running it simultaneously as I'm running my eBay store. Because I wanted to, initially, like you just saw my big basement. We were going to use half of that for my eBay and half for other stuff that he has, whatever. But it didn't work out. And good thing it didn't work out because he really didn't have the same ideas as I did. And also, one of the things also that I wanted to make sure that people understand what I'm saying is you got to make sure you have a lot of money backed up, because if you don't have at least like 3 months bills already in your pocket,
Mhm.
it becomes very stressful very quickly. So you can't make rational decisions when you're hungry, right? You don't make a rational decision if you're hungry. You never want to order food when you're hungry because otherwise you're just going to order a ton of food. So when you're stressed for the bills right away and you don't have that backup money, it could be very stressful. So he was like, "Oh, well, we only need to put up so much money. Because another thing to keep in mind too, when you want to have a brick and mortar, there's a lot of money for deposits. Okay, now what are deposits? You have to put money up for the power companies, the gas or what the fuck, the gas company, the electric company. Sometimes
Yeah.
want a couple of months ahead, they want a deposit, and then of course then there's the landlord's deposit. So the landlord might want 2-3 months deposit. So literally you could have like $20,000 tied up in deposits just because people want to have you know they want to be secure, which you understand.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's super important.
Yeah, so but like the money that he didn't want to have backed up, I'm like, yeah, I think we need to have so much money in reserve. He's like, nah, like he wanted to like wing it kind of, and I'm like, if I'm gonna go through this again, where I'm opening a business like this, I got to do everything by the book, and I got to do everything more carefully, and you have to leave yourself room for error. If you don't leave yourself room for error, it could be trouble.
Hmm.
Um, and that's it. I mean, that's one thing that's very important. The lease, you got to leave, because you know what it is too. If you think it's going to take you a month to build a store, you have to double it. It always whatever because you have to figure on un, un, unforeseen expenses. There's always expenses that come up that you don't see. That's why they're called unforeseen expenses.
So let me ask you. So like after like the whole restaurant thing, when did you get into like just like straight reselling on eBay? Did you just do it
That
right after?
Yeah. So after the restaurant, that's when you know, after the restaurant, that's when whatchamacallit, I went back to college to finish my degree. So I was working in the restaurant business. Plus, I was working restaurant business, going back to college, and then I decided to do the eBay on the side. I was, just watching. Like I said, I was watching YouTube videos, like a lot of people. People in the beginning, like Raking Profits. A lot of people remember him. They saw
Hmm.
him. Before he became an internet marketer. You know, um, but a lot of the guys, and then of course Pete and other people, whatever it was, and Ronnie. So I was doing that on the side, part time. Okay.
Hmm.
So I was doing the eBay part-time, restaurant part-time, school part-time. I know it sounds crazy. I had like 3, 4 part-time things, which is, full-time, but it's all part-time stuff. So I was doing all that work. And then at the time, well, I guess it was, 2016, I kind of got let go from my job. I know, which sounds kind of weird because my boss, we had a lot of part-time workers at my job. And in the restaurant business, that's what you get. I don't know if do you ever know anybody who worked in a restaurant business, Chris?
I mean, not. I used to work as a line cook, but not like in that way, like the whole business part of it.
Well, I'm just saying, a lot of people in the restaurant, like a lot of people, they are part time waiters and different. I mean, a lot of times the kitchen staff pretty much usually is full time, or they'll have a part time guy fill in once in a while.
Mm.
But in general, the what's I gonna say? In general, what was I saying now? In general, man, my brain is shot. A lot of like the waitresses are part time, because I mean, if you have, especially if a small place, they're not really working full time. So anyway, when I was working in the restaurant and back in where my old job, the Blue Moon, he was kind of sick of part time. Because my boss didn't want to have to deal with like 4 part time people. So he's like, you know what? I want 1 full time person or 2 full time people. So I says, he says, look, if you want to do it, I says, no, because at the time I was, I was in college, and even though I don't use my degree, I still can if I really wanted to. I could still get a job in accounting if I really try. Not that I would want a job in accounting, but if I need it, I have a college degree, and I didn't, and I was kind of towards the, I was in what they call it, the final stretch, whatever. And that's what happens is a lot of times people get like 90% of the way there and they don't finish their degree. And that's a big mistake because 90% of a degree is like 0% of the degree. When you say, if you go to employ, oh, I went to school, but I didn't finish. It's like, it's very important that you finish. You have your diploma and you have your, you have your, your plaque, whatever whatever it is, it is important, you know. But sorry, my back is bothering me a little bit more now. Not too much, not killing me, but it's definitely there. So he hired somebody else, another guy, to take the job, who was gonna work full time, who ended up lasting only a few months anyway, because my boss was psychotic and he couldn't get, it was very hard to get along with. So, but that was that. But then I says, you know what? I left, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do eBay full time. No, because I already had a little bit of money saved. And remember, I was living at home with my parents, whatever. So, weird. Like I have businesses where I rent stores, but I live at home. But but fast forward, I really did want to buy that store from the lady. You know what I mean? I mean, good thing that the deal didn't work through, because not that it didn't work through, because good. I didn't want to pursue it anymore because obviously look what happened now. This is not. It would have been a disaster. That I mean, I don't know how all these businesses are gonna make. I mean, it's gonna be very difficult going forward. It's gonna be very difficult. But
Okay, so after you,
so that's what I wanted to do. So let me tell you real quick. So that's what I want to do.
right.
With this store, I wanted to keep the eBay, and then still have the thrift store upstairs, and do a lot more like with Facebook and stuff. Like I was gonna do like some buyouts, like a lot of these companies, estate sale companies. Like I said, instead, like, because like I said, they do clean outs, right? where they literally somebody pays to clean it out. I would come in and just buy like their leftover, say hard goods or whatever it is, for a bulk price, couple $100 before the pay, whatever it is, and then take it. So that was it. Is that what you say?
No, like I was gonna ask when you got like now you're doing it full time now. So like you transitioned like now more to just clothing really, right? You don't do any type of hard goods anymore or like
Yeah, it
you
is
don't
kind
do
of funny when I see the hard goods stuff. Like I I will pick up stuff. I don't pursue the hard goods. Like that stuff in those pictures, whatever it is. I mean, if stuff is there and it's at the end of the day, and I know I can get it, like especially like with Leslie, and I know I'll say, look, like sometimes she'll say, here, see that box over there, fill it up, give me $20. You know, so when it's something like that where it's fill up a box, or it's cheap, 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 or if it's stuff that where I know that there's, like if it's like a new sealed item and it's something I could flip easily, you know, that's that's something I definitely would do. But I don't, the hard goods, especially like because at the thrift store, see, the thrift stores by me are very competitive, and it's literally like there are people there that are like, they wait for the stuff to come out. They're standing. I mean, look, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of YouTube. There's a lot of everything. People on Instagram. We have a lot of people doing this, so you kind of have to avoid those people. You know what I mean, Chris?
Mm, yeah.
Like the savers by me, forget it. They'll be like, it'll be like, like there'll be like 12 people there, literally like waiting. You know, like I had this one guy. He's like, he was in the Marines and he's kind of nuts. He has like PTSD, shell shock, whatever it is, and he kind of that, like that door, like those like kind of like aluminum doors. Like they burst open, like they push through the cart with like all the hard goods. You've been in there and like, we had this conversation. You said people that camp out there,
Oh yeah.
right?
All the pickers they all wait right at the door where they come out.
Yeah. So that's like this one guy, Ronnie. Like it's funny. We'll have a conversation. Like, hey Ronnie, what's going? And then and he could just hear that, that door opening, and then, like run for the stuff, and then even it's funny too because like Savers, they have like a loudspeaker, like a public PA, whatever you call it,
Yeah.
and like there's codes that they say, like code H. That means like, oh, it's time to go home, or like code that like these guys literally like they knew the codes. Like, oh, go on break. They're like, okay, don't worry, we can go get lunch now because the
And then come
production
back.
crew. Yeah, yeah, because the production crew is going on lunch, so we can go get lunch. So because you have to worry because they're not going to bring any more fresh merchandise out. You
Yeah.
know, that's crazy. I mean, it
That's
sounds crazy,
crazy. They would know
but they
the
know the code.
freaking
Then
codes.
and then the guy's telling me, this one guy who he's actually helped me out. He's actually helped me. This guy Oscar. I try to get him on the chats, but I don't. Some people are just not late night people. And this guy Oscar, and he taught me a lot about the vintage concert T-shirts, about what to look like. He was really good, and he always finds stuff, and he's friends with the girls that work at the back room. So, but and he knows every like which days they do the production, like because like Savers, he's like, okay, if they have a Monday holiday, if it's like Columbus Day or something, whatever it is, then all right, if they have that holiday, then they don't have production on that day, then they change it to Thursday. It's like, all right, no production that day or no production the other. These guys really, 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 they pay attention, which
Yeah.
is what you have to do when you're in business. But that's why I kind of try to avoid them. That's why a lot of things like I like the suits, because a lot of people they don't want to go near suits because they look at it and they're just like, what the fuck? And they just, you know what I mean? Like, they look at it, they don't know what it is. A lot of resellers, they don't wear suits, so they don't know what it is. They don't know what to look for. They don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just looking at the name, because you have to know if it's usually and generally the newer stuff. You have to know what the new labels look like, condition. You got to make sure the sleeves are not too short. If the sleeve, like a lot of times stuff, because when you buy a suit, you go to a tailor to have it tailored to you.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? But if you, but you really can't lengthen sleeves on a suit. Some you can lengthen them a little bit, but usually you can't lengthen them that much. So like if the sleeves are really short, then it's like literally impossible to sell the suit, because you have to literally wait. Like I'm even crossing my fingers. I sold a suit that had super short arms to some guy in Hong Kong just last week. So like I'm hoping like he really read. I mean, I have no returns on international,
Mm.
but you never know. You don't want people to like, even though it says no returns. People will play games, be like, oh, there's a microscopic dot here that you didn't disclose. Item not as described.
Yeah, that's just petty for them to do that.
But people do that.
I know.
Um, People do it all the time, man.
So you're doing that now. You're doing suits and stuff. So how did you decide, hey, like let's
And the
try
vintage
using
t-shirt.
and vintage t-shirt, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I really.
So
But that's one thing I run after. But then again, like that market is very saturated now. It's starting to get saturated with vintage t-shirts. A lot of
mhm,
people at the thrift, a lot of people even at the state sales. So like sometimes like I'll like if they have the t-shirts too broadcasted, like too you know displayed, then I won't go, because there's guys that will beat me there. I
I
will.
see.
There's no way. There's no way. It doesn't matter. People say, you know, oh, 7 a.m. Oh, get there at 6. You get there at 6, there's a guy there at 5:30. There's just certain people that are just like there's one guy I showed his stuff to Tommy. This guy, his name is Matt. He has a luxury consignment place called Lux Swap, and the guy does his sales are in the millions. I mean, he does more money in sales than everybody here in the chat combined.
Wow.
And yeah, this guy does millions of dollars in sales, and but he does a lot of consignment, so a lot of the merchandise comes to him, which is great. But like certain items, like if I know there's an estate sale in his area, I won't even bother to wake up early to try to get there, because I know he's gonna beat me out. He knows to get in early. He's just much more experienced than me. As experienced as I am, he's
Mhm.
better than me. So I have to kind of like say, all right, you know what? I'm going to avoid him. I'm going to stay in the south area, because I know like in the one area he won't go to, because he lives, it would take him like 45 minutes to an hour to get there. So he won't go there, you know? So, but
No,
that's,
I
and
hear
that's
you.
another, yeah, that's another thing too. That's another thing about estate sales too, is that, you know, so is it better to go? Sometimes you go in the morning and, not just the prices are high, there's a lot of people there. You got to put your name. They make lists. You got to put your name on a list and then wait. It's it's it could be it's that's a rough hustle. Estate sales are rough. Garage sales, like I said, are much different. You don't know usually what you're gonna get. Like you saw how many pictures were on that estate sale, right? You saw those
Yeah,
pictures.
a
So
lot.
you kind of even if they don't have that many pictures, you can kind of get an idea when you see the house, you see if the kids' room, because there's in general there's like two types of estate sales, like by me especially. It's either one of those sales like you saw it, like that was like a luxury home, even though like the clothes were cheap, but that doesn't mean anything. The home was in a I would say upper middle class area. The home is easily $1 million plus. It's a high, not extremely high end, but higher end neighborhood called Dix Hills. It's it's a nicer area. So you can kind of get an idea of what those people have. They're gonna have better stuff. The people in the richer area are gonna have better stuff. But usually those kind of sales, they're what we call a downsizing sale. And I'm sure in Canada they probably I know for sure there's certain areas in Florida that people from Canada move to. I'm sure you're familiar, right?
I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah.
Like
I don't.
elderly people,
Yeah.
like people retire. Like when you retire, you don't want to stay in Canada, you know, or what you have what they call is snowbirds. So what a lot of people will do that live in the north, what they'll do is they'll say, let's say we're talking about people who have money, you know what I mean? Because that's what you want to focus on. You want to focus on people who have money, because when you go to their house, they're gonna have valuable stuff. So people who are snowbirds, what they do is they had a big house, the kids moved out, they retired. Okay, let's say they just retired. So maybe they're gonna say buy a condo close by that, wherever it is. Maybe it's in Canada, in Toronto, or in New York, whatever, or Boston, whatever. So they're gonna buy two condos. So that's what they call downsizing. So they're gonna buy a condo here where they'll live in the summer, and then they'll buy a condo in Florida. You know, and because they don't have kids, so they don't need a big house. I mean, it's a waste. So those big houses had all that crap in it. They can't take it with them to their you know 1 bedroom condo. Because it's if you have a mansion where you have 7 bedrooms, and you can't move it in.
What's up, Lobster? Yeah, no,
Oh,
I hear
there's
you.
that's good. So that
It's
so
called.
that's the first type of sale. That's called, like I said, a downsizing sale. And those are mostly what I look for, because when you're buying like suits, right? You'll have somebody who was, say, a doctor or a lawyer, or stock market, Wall Street type person that has dozens of suits
Hey, Gary.
that are expensive. And
Yeah,
now that the guy is retired, he doesn't need 20 business suits, because if he's going down to Florida, what does he need all those suits for? Because he's not wearing suits anymore, because he's already retired.
yeah.
So that's the first type of sale. That's the main type I look for. Second type of sale is like grandma's house sale, where you could tell it's maybe an older person who passed away, who you know they have maybe some antique items to look for, household items, maybe some furniture that you're looking at, whatever it is, and it's an older person's home, that you can kind of tell that that somebody was in there. Sometimes they might have medical equipment in there. They might have like one of those beds that help you get in and out of bed, like whatever, like machines and stuff like that, life support stuff. Which I'm not sure about eBay. I know certain stuff you can sell, certain things you can't, like walkers and stuff like that. I'm not sure which stuff you can sell, which ones you can't.
Hmm.
Because I know, I believe, I'm not sure if it was Facebook or Craigslist. One of them, because I know the lady Deirdre who runs the store. She had, those like the brand. You ever heard of the brand called Drive? Drive.
No.
They have a
What
lot of
is
like
that?
equipment. They have like a lot of equipment for like older people, like, or handicap or whatever. They're so like there was like a walker, but it's like, you ever see like those walkers, but they have wheels and they have brakes, like hand brakes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I see those in like the thrift stores all the time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because people are retiring, they're donating whatever. So stuff like that. I don't know which website. If she tried to put it on Craigslist or on Facebook, you're not allowed to sell. I think Facebook Marketplace medical stuff is not. Maybe they're afraid to be sued or something. I don't know, but that kind of stuff is, so that's how you can tell. So, but those are, like I said, the two main types are the downsizing, people who are wealthy. That's the stuff you want to look at. Like even now, I'll look at that estatesale.net before I go to bed, and I'll say, you know what, maybe I might go to something tomorrow. Maybe I have
Really?
my. What does that say now?
Tons of Quebec license plates are down in the winter where he's at. So
Okay.
he's in Florida.
exactly. So if you have people from Quebec, obviously in the winter you don't want to be in Quebec. Nobody wants to be in Quebec
Yeah.
in the middle of January. When you can be in Florida. So probably that's what a lot of people do. Like say holiday time, they'll wait till like Christmas and New Year's or whatever or Jewish holidays. They'll wait till it's finished there, here, and then it's January, and then they head south, and then in the springtime, it's when they come back up. But it was very controversial because in the in the there was a lot of people that were up here in New York, and they wouldn't let people come down to like you couldn't like Pennsylvania the Florida police would turn you around. They said you couldn't or you would have to quarantine. They would make you stay in your house for like 2 weeks. Couldn't leave the house. It was crazy. It was going on the last month or two. Still
Yeah.
crazy. It's not over yet. You know, we're not out of the woods.
Can you sing a duet with Krillin? I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
No, this isn't Twitch.
No. Okay, so okay, so uh, the next part I wanted to ask too is like when you started, like just like when did you decide, hey, I want to start using like these thank you bags? Like what where did you get the idea of like saying, hey, I think this is a really convenient idea. Like let's just go with it.
I don't know. I just like the idea with somebody they pull it out. I mean, that's what a thank you bag is. It says thank you on it. So when they open up the package and they see and they pull it out, it says thank you. You know, I didn't think that was very controversial. I know, it was a
It
thank you.
was. I mean, but I mean, hey, as long as you're like you said you're getting good feedback, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, you can see my feedback, and not just good feedback, but some like right after Tommy was breaking my balls about the bags, like literally the next day, I got a feedback and it says excellently packed, and all it was just thank you bag, and then in one of those purple poly mailers,
yeah,
you know, and that was it. And then I sent it down, and then mailed it out. Nothing special, but
it does the job, right?
and you could tell it wasn't. Excuse me. You could tell that like certain people that leave you feedback that are like an automatic feedback, kind of like, oh, 5-star service or something, whatever. But the woman, she was writing like, oh, I love the sweater or something or whatever. Like you can kind of tell that it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like that she actually wrote out took the time to write out the you know the whatchamacallit. Took time to write out can't even think that
The
the
like a
the
review.
yeah, the review feedback.
Yeah,
So I was like, oh, thank you so much, so good. No,
that's cool, man. Oh man,
you got clothes too.
what
You have clothes for sale or no?
do I?
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. I've been liquidating a lot of my clothes in my inventory right now,
Uh
like
huh.
just trying to push them out. I've been so used to hard goods. I like testing out stuff and
Yeah.
uh like doing that stuff. So that's why I prefer getting the hard goods.
Yeah. See, that was the thing too, and also like I hurt my back and like I got this hernia now. Well, I've had a hernia for a while, but off and on it bothers me. And it's like if you're gonna do stereo equipment, because that was one thing, of course. Like a lot of people watch say Pete's videos or other people's videos, and and I'll tell you, there is a lot of money. People in the chat, I mean, most of the people are experienced that we talk to in the chat. They've been around for, I don't know how many new resellers we have in the groups, or whatever it is, but there is very good money in stereo equipment, in speakers, and I mean, there's a lot of room to make money. Even like Pete gave me a tip that, do you know what a Betamax player is?
Yeah. Hmm.
Some of them sell for phenomenal money. You know what I mean? And it's an item that, like, when you go to an estate sale, like if the company didn't look it up, they're not going to think it's worth anything. It's not the kind of item, because it's not like high end per se. You know what I mean? It's not like certain brands are high end. They might look it up, but it's like, but some of them they're worth a lot of money. You know, they're hard to find items, but you know, um, also the problem I had too was, do you know anything about vintage stereos, even from like the 70s or 80s? I mean, like with like those silver blush, like aluminum looking stereos,
Yeah.
the
No,
old.
I mean, I think I have one downstairs right now. It's like a
Yeah,
Marantz or something.
yeah, and the problem is with a lot of that stuff is like, first of all, I'll never forget I bought one. I'll never forget this day. There was one estate sale I went to, and it was literally, the house was 12,000 square feet. Do you know how big of a house that is? 12,000 square feet.
That's pretty
Okay.
big.
Yes. Here they classify a mansion. If you Google the mansion here, about like 7,000 square feet.
Oh, really?
They would
Okay, I didn't
is
realize that.
Yeah, that's like a mansion. 12,000 square feet is like a super mansion. Okay, like this house they had their own road to get to the house. They had, I mean, they literally had like a ballroom. So like if you can have like events at the house, you know what I mean? Like you could have people dance, like a ballroom. So I did pretty well at that sale, but it was a rough sale. There was thousands of people there, and but it, and it was I actually got lost in the damn house. Um, but it was weird. It was one of those houses that go like a row, so it's like not like a square. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, like, so if you're on one side of the house, you're like way far away from the other person. Anyway, um, they had somewhere like in a back room somewhere, like in a guest bedroom, a crappy, maybe it was like the maid's quarters or something, whoever knows it, whatever it is. They had one of those old stereos. I want to say like I don't know, like a Pioneer Kenwood or something like that, with that aluminum looking front. And I looked it up, and they were selling for decent money, you know. So I said to the woman, I says, you know what, they had, like, say $50 on it, and it was towards the end. I says, can you do 30? She says fine, because she knows I'm a reseller, and it was towards the end of the day. But I had no idea, because I just looked it up, and when I bought it, so you have to assume when you're buying stereos, like those old stereos, you have to assume that it's for parts or repair. You
Yeah,
can't assume that stuff works,
it's pretty
because
difficult to test.
it's impossible. Yeah, it's really impossible to test. You have to get the guys who really know what they're fucking doing. They have to know, like, each channel or whatever the hell it is. So I bought it from the person, from the lawyer, $30, whatever it was, right? I probably got 100 for it. It's decent. But when I picked it up, it it was like a boat anchor. You know what I mean? Or like you could stop the Titanic with this thing. You know,
Yeah,
and
they're pretty big.
it was so heavy. I couldn't believe I'm picking this thing up. And I said the house was huge. So I'm climbing down the stairs, and I parked literally, no exaggeration. I mean, probably close to a mile away.
Oh my gosh.
So it was like I literally had to carry this thing to my freaking car, because it was so far. That's another thing I hate too, because when you have the truck, it's like I could have pulled. Sometimes they'll let you pull the truck in, but sometimes it's more aggravation because they already have a million trucks in there. So it's like, all right, is it better for me to go all the way there to get my truck, drive a truck back just to load one thing, or just bear it and just carry it there than have to do all the other shit? But but that was my point. And also, I made money with once in a while was the those Sony Mega Disc changers. You ever see those?
Oh yeah, is it like a 30 disc or
No,
like
like
five?
three.
The five?
No, I'm talking about like 300 and up.
Oh wow.
They have I've seen up to 500. But what it is, it looks like a carousel. You know what a carousel like this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what it is, the discs go this way. Okay. So when you turn the knob, the carousel turns, and then you take the CDs out that way. You hit a button.
Oh,
And, yeah, literally 300. 300 CDs, whatever it is. Those sell for good money because you go to the garage sale. They're always there for literally $10 or whatever it is, $15. And if you get the right
for kids
ones,
deals and more. Yeah.
some they could sell easily over $100. You get a nice one with, and you have the remote with it and everything.
Oh yeah,
If
you'll
you
get more.
if you have the 500 disc one, they sell for way more.
That's
But
crazy.
but most of them I think are the three. I've seen a lot of 300 disc. Those are more common. 300. But then again, now also there's the testing involved because a lot of times they're not working 100%, right? And what's the other one? What are they saying? They don't work 100% right, and the what was I saying? The I can't even think. They're not working 100% right. And to pack those things, I know Tommy, Mr. Packer, Mr. UPS, but unless if you're not like my whole point I'm trying to make is if you don't have a station, anybody who's thinking about stereos and that kind of stuff like that, it's definitely good money. But if you're not good, especially at plugging things in and the wires and trying to figure out, because you have to get things tested. If you're not good at that, then forget it. And it's a lot of packing involved. Bulk stuff,
Yeah.
it could be a big headache. That's why clothing is 2 seconds.
Yeah. This
And
PvP said they're well built around that time, like those older
yeah,
machines.
yeah, yeah, they're good. They're well built, but like I said, to test it out and to know if everything works. And like I said, my threshold, if you're gonna get anything cheap enough, then it's worth it. That's just the way it
Mm-hmm.
goes. If stuff is cheap, you pick it up. That's just the way. Like I said, but I need a lot of room to make money if I'm gonna. I have stereos now in this store here that literally from a year or two ago that I have there that I haven't listed. I have one. I think it's a Marantz. I don't know. It's something like that. It was in a mini flood. I don't know if it works properly, but it's a receiver, right? So how do
Yeah.
you test? How do you test a receiver with no speaker?
It's pretty difficult, but I mean,
I can plug it in, but now I have this, and also I have a Kenwood CD changer, which I think has like 5 discs, 5 or 6 disc CD changer. But I didn't pay. I bought it for like, and that's always a trap for. I bought it for $1. If somebody says, "Oh, do you want a Kenwood CD changer for $1?" What do you say?
mm,
No,
no, no, probably not.
you're not gonna buy it.
For $1,
A CD changer?
I guess I would.
Kenwood
It
is a good.
depends.
Kenwood's good.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, Kenwood.
Kenwood, yeah, Kenwood is a good brand. CD changer. I mean, it's the work that's involved. It's not the price of the item, because we have one thrift store. It's funny because we have one thrift store. What they do is it's one of those honey hole church thrift stores, kind of like what Charnock talks about. Like sometimes you never know. It just like what shows up there, and it's like you can have really great stuff coming in the door. It's you never know. But they literally what they do is twice a year they close the store. Okay, I mean they what I mean they close the stores like they literally like every say 6 months or so, they clean the store out. Okay, so what they'll do is say like so they'll have like spring till back to school, like September. That's when they put the in September. That's when they put the sweaters out and everything, whatever it is, and then they'll go from that to the spring. To the spring. So they literally, it was kind of funny because this thrift store, they literally closed the door in the middle of the, like just before the pandemic started. So they haven't been open. It's kind of weird because also what they do is when they clean out the whole store, like they literally put everything on sale for like $1 in the whole store, right? Games, books, fucking everything. Then what they'll do, like the last day, they'll do fill up a bag for $1. Now, when people tell you to fill up a garbage bag for $1, what are you doing? I mean, because you don't care. You're taking anything. You're like, well, it's $1,
Yeah.
for the whole fucking bag. So they had literally one of those Kenwood stereos and another VCR and a printer, which is like the worst. It's like HP printer. Inkjet. It's probably not worth shit. But it was $1. So how do you follow what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you have an inkjet
Like
printer, you wouldn't pick it up $1.
it. I mean, obviously, it's not. It's not worth. It's not worth picking up. But I mean, for $1, I would. Yeah, I guess.
That's the whole point I'm trying to make. It's very hard not to pick up items that are $1. So, but I still have other stuff, and I still have that other bin that I got from Leslie. But what was I saying? Like you said,
So like, but like,
yeah.
besides the estate sales though, like, is it mainly like, is it like the way you're sourcing right now? Is it just through like the Consuelas and the heavy Leslies right now?
Oh yes, I did see Consuelo the other day. I was there. I gotta take a picture of her. So yeah, I did. I bought a couple of cool shirts. Actually, she was the one I showed you, right? That didn't I show you this jersey? Did I show you this one?
Oh yeah, is it the Knicks one?
Oh, that's where I got that. No, that Knicks one. Are you kidding me? I sold that right away, man. I got like $500 for that one.
Damn.
This is. Do you know who this guy is?
Is that RG3?
Yeah, you know who he is. Obviously,
Yeah,
if you know
Robert
he's
Griffin.
RG3.
Yeah.
But I was looking at this, right? I mean, this is a pretty nice jersey. It's sewn letters, right? I guess maybe he's not that good anymore. Maybe he's a backup now or something. I don't know. And it has a nice patch. It has the Redskins patch. Um, the guy looks like he played in it a little bit, a little soiled, but it's a nice looking jersey, and it's a Nike, right? But it sells for no money. I see some for like $16, and I'm like, what the f?
That's
Like, how
it?
is it?
Wow.
Yeah, this looks kosher to me. Everything looks like it's legit. Yeah, like it's what we call it. It's called the uh, NFL on field. That's the series, I guess. Right? Are you familiar with that one?
No, not really. I'm
Yeah,
not
like
too
this is
familiar with.
this is a nice jersey. It was like, I don't know. I hope it's real.
It is a nice one though. Like, it's just.
I think it's real. I don't know. Usually you can tell it's shoddy work on the inside. It looks alright. So,
Tracy said put it on Grailed.
I don't
You're
know.
eBay only, right? You don't list on anywhere else, right?
eBay only. That's it.
Gotcha.
Usually the first thing I do, because I'm from, like, I don't know. This looks right on the inside. Usually I don't know. Usually that other shit's not supposed to be there too much. I
I
don't know.
mean, does the stitching look decent?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, it looks decent, but like I don't know. Would they have this too loose like that?
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty good. But usually, you don't have too much of this stuff that you can peel off. But like I pay like $10 for like 4 shirts. So yeah, when you buy from Consuela, I got this other. This is a Ralph Lauren shirt, like a plaid button down. I paid like $2. It was like 5 shirts, $2 each. You know, so it was nice. And I wanted to give Consuelo some business. I wanted to, I didn't want her to think that I forgot about her. You know, because you know, no, because she literally, she, you know, I mean, you've seen the show, Consuelo. So, but she, she had. I feel bad for her, because she's, not just because she's 4 feet tall, 4 feet wide, um, because she's running that store. She's like running it by herself, and it's a tiny store. It's probably like, I mean, it's smaller than my store. I'm talking about my basement. It's smaller. It's probably like 300 square feet. It's a tiny store. And she wasn't in business for months, and she already was working she was working 7 days a week in that store.
wow.
Yeah, I gotta make a little video with her.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
do it,
have
man.
this. I'm gonna have her say no lemon pledge. No, no,
Tommy said,
no.
look inside the numbers. Is there fabric on the back?
Inside the numbers. Yeah, but that's that. Yeah, that it's small. Like usually when you see like a big patch of fabric, like usually like you'll see like a lot of crap you can pull out, but this is like a little bit. I don't know. Can you see here?
Yeah.
What does that look? Did you see it? Can you see that, Tommy?
I mean, I can't really.
Yeah, it's too. It's just yeah, it does look like there's some little bit of fabric in there. It's not just pure stitched. And also, what I didn't like too up here. That's the thing too. You could spend half the day. Oh, you're right. Like this. This is fake then, right? Like this. This is what
Okay,
Tommy
I
said.
see the fabric.
That this is fake, right? They wouldn't have that. Yeah. Yeah, it's shoddier up here. That's what he's saying in the chat, Tommy.
Is that what you're saying, Tommy?
Let me
Yep,
look.
that's what he's saying.
Yeah, and then this is Fugazi. Yeah, but like I said, did I pay up for this? No. And I should have kind of known because there was another one next to it that looked even worse. But like this patch, another trick is like usually in general when you look up close, you see where it has. I don't know. You see where it says like Washington or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you see how the stitches are like connected in the letters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually they're not connected. It's like a separate.
They're
You know.
separate? Okay.
Yeah. You would
I
never
didn't know
see
that.
like. Yeah. Because obviously it's more work involved to
The
not have
separate
that.
letters.
You know. Oh yeah. Wow. Now that I'm looking more. Yeah. Look at that. That sucks. Well, I mean, the jersey wasn't worth much anyway. Even the real McCoy.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe somebody's a fan of the RG3. If you just want to give me the money for the shipping or whatever, or something like that, $10 or something.
It's
Still
not
pretty
bad.
cool look.
Yeah.
Whatever the shipping or something. couple bucks maybe. Nothing. Just I don't want to go to. I'm not gonna trash it. I hate to throw stuff out. No, no, no.
Now, Krillin, we're already 2 hours in, but like, what I do normally with my interviews is I usually ask like 5 or 10 rapid fire questions.
Oh God,
Um,
rap. Okay.
so I'm gonna ask you these because uh, I want to be able to make sure we get these in because I think it's always a fun thing to do, but like always, but just also I don't know. I just want to do it for my interviews. So um
Anytime.
okay, cool, man. So do you listen to anything while you're working or listing?
Yes. Yes, I do. You
Like
mean my music?
music or podcasts?
Yeah, I like Joe Rogan. I'll listen to him if there's somebody interesting. Um, I try to listen to music, but the thing is, it's hard to listen to music and list because like certain videos you can a lot of the YouTube videos you can minimize the screen and then still use the camera and still do other stuff. But like the stuff that's like the like what do they call it, Vivo or whatever, Evo, like
The
the
music
music.
videos? Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't really play them and use the thing at the same time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's either you can watch it or you can do something. You can't really have it playing. That you can't minimize it. But with this, you can. With reseller videos, you can minimize it so I can listen to whatever. But I'll listen to Joe. I'm not a huge. I'm a fan of his. I'm not like, oh I gotta listen to Joe Rogan. I'm a fan of his. And obviously they're very long. His videos. He does like 3 hour interviews, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And but if it's like Mike Tyson on, of course, or something, somebody interesting. Elon Musk, I'll try to listen to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, well, I actually, they do clips, which is even better. So what they'll do is they'll do like a 10-minute clip. Because it's very hard to listen to Elon Musk for hours. Because I don't know if you ever heard him talk before, but he talks very slow. He talks like this. Maybe, Joe. I don't think so. It doesn't elaborate on things. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. So
Now, okay, next question. Are you a night owl or early bird?
well, naturally, night owl because
Yeah.
we're on at night. You know, I'm really not because you know what it is. I never really liked to, even when I was a kid. See, that's the thing is, with the restaurant business is a late night business. The restaurant business in general, you come in at 3, 4 o'clock and you're done at 11, 12 o'clock. Okay,
Yeah.
that's restaurant business. It's what they call like a second shift type business. So, but I was always that's why I always like when I was younger, I got the restaurant jobs because when you work when you're in school, you can work after school. You know what I mean? So you work after school and then you can go to work from 3 till 10, 11 o'clock. And then, you know, but it kind of conditions you not to wake up early in the morning. The only time I wake up early is if it's a estate sale. That's it. It's
Yeah.
the only thing that wakes me up. Or I have a
Oh,
heart attack or kidney attack.
oh, okay. Okay. Now, if you had to choose one place to source, who would it be? Consuela or Heavy Leslie?
Oh, no. Consuela is just a small thrift store. It's like a 300 square foot place that they rarely, they don't get much new inventory. And I go there maybe, you know, once every couple of months. No, I wouldn't say once every couple of months. Under normal circumstances, I might go there once every 2 or 3 weeks, and um, that's only because the other thrift store, that honey, we call it the Honey Hole thrift store. I was
Mm-hmm.
talking about that church one, the one where they have everything for $1. You know that one because it's literally a block away from there. So then maybe a little bit more often than once every 2 weeks. But other than that, I mean, yes, I got that Nirvana T-shirt there that I got like $200 for. I got that $400 or $500 Knicks jersey, but you can score there, but it's not like they're not. It's not Savers where they're pushing out racks and racks, but there's no people there. There's a couple
Yeah.
of other people there that are her paisans.
All right. What are the what's your favorite part of reselling?
Definitely has to be freedom. That was always just like anything else. The that you could just if I'm not feeling well today or feeling well tomorrow, you could just take off and you could just relax. You know
Yeah.
what? If the only pressure you have is, oh, I got to go to the post office. That's nothing. You mean when I worked in the restaurant business, the biggest thing is you have to be there. Doesn't matter. You're sick. You're this. You're that. It's like you have to be there business. It's because you can't work around it because it's timing. People want to go out for dinner on Saturday night at 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So you have to be there, and your employees have to be there, and they have to know how to make everything consistently. In this business, you could work really hard, but but of course, on the flip side, you have to create work for yourself. But it takes a lot of pressure off when it's like, okay, like if I was in pain and now I had to call my boss tomorrow and say, look, boss, I can't come in. That creates conflict because now he has to get somebody else to fill in for me. And
Hmm.
then I have conflict with those other people. Now there's no conflict. It's just, if I'm not feeling well, just stay in bed.
No, that's a good point. I enjoy that a lot too. What's your least favorite part of reselling?
Least favorite part would probably be the, that's a good question. I'm glad. Give me a second. I know you're a little rapid fire. My least favorite part of reselling? It, my least favorite part would probably be the inconsistency of eBay, like we were talking about.
Mm.
Is like, you know, you can have a really good day, right? And then you have a bad day. And like in the begin now it does I don't sweat it. Like now it's like I kind of like if this was like 2 years ago, I would be like sweating like not just because financially, oh, I didn't have the money, but just be like, well, why is it not selling? I would have to go back and end my listings and relist to do this and do what's not going on. Maybe it's not right, but you know what it is? Maybe it's just not that day to do business, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the frustrating part is that you kind of like, oh shit, how come why didn't they why how do you say why would I sell $600 in one day and then the next day zero? You know?
Krillin's favorite part is a nap on the death pile.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's another weird thing too. No naps. I throughout the corona, maybe it was those vitamins I was taking. I
You're not
really
taking
haven't.
any naps? No?
I used to like months and months and months ago, and I started taking those vitamins, and I'm just really not as tired as I used to be. I don't know. Maybe it was the vitamins, maybe not.
I think too
Well,
because you're saying you're losing weight too. I think that has a lot to do with it too. When you get more energy, you feel less sleepy.
yeah, maybe if I when I lost weight, maybe that's something to do. But I really didn't lose that much weight. I mean, this
Hey,
jersey, like I
you
said.
know what? 15 man, like is still quite a bit for anyone that's still progress, man. Seriously,
Oh
more
no,
power to you.
I'm definitely happy, but I really want to get, I want to lose a lot more. I
Yeah.
really do. But there's only so much you can lose in a day.
McDonald's or Burger King?
Burger King,
Burger King. The Whoppers.
the Whopper, flame broiled tastes better. Now they have that other thing, that Big King,
Yeah. Oh
whatever it
yeah.
is. So it's basically all right. What did I like from McDonald's. They have the Whopper. I mean the Big Mac, but the Big King is better than the Big Mac because it basically has the sauce plus with the better quality burger.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I would give the edge. The nuggets the regular nuggets are definitely better from McDonald's. Those are phenomenal.
Yeah, for sure.
But the chicken fingers are very good. They have it at chicken fries or whatever they call them. Those are very good
Oh, I haven't had those in a while.
at the whatchamacallit, at the Burger King. So if I had to, but the fries are better definitely at McDonald's. Fries are not so great I mean, it's a toss up, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll give the edge to Burger King because of that flame broiled.
All right. No, I think that's a good answer. Three things you should have when you start reselling.
Space, number one. Make sure space to put stuff. That's the most important thing. Because if you don't have space to pack and space to store and space to it gets disorganized real quick. That's number one, the space. Number two is the scale. If you don't have the scale, forget about it. You know,
Yeah.
and I mean, obviously, you're probably not saying camera because everybody's a camera phone. That like everybody has a phone and a camera. But what's it? If I were to pick a third thing to make sure you have,
Scotch
um,
tape, thank you bags, and scissors.
yeah, well, uh, yeah, I think that's one thing. The scale is really important, and
Yeah.
space, and you gotta set up enough room. I think because it's very frustrating in the beginning. You buy stuff, you put it to the side, then you get too much shit, and the shit is everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. Um, Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
come on, are you kidding me? Get the fuck out. Pineapple pizza.
You'd be surprised that I've been getting a lot of yeses lately. So
No, I know people eat that. It's not that I don't
yeah,
eat, but that's not in this neighborhood. They don't make that right.
I just tell them forget about it.
Yeah, forget it. Freaking pineapples, Hawaiian pizza.
All right, and I guess okay. So the last question I would say is uh, advice you would give to yourself now, to yourself when you first started reselling.
Uh, keep my job. No. Um, that's yeah. Don't quit your day job. That's one thing I see that a lot of people they want. Oh, I'm gonna go full time. Like, you want to go full time, but it's always good to have your feet. To be doing a few different things. I always thought that was better. This way you don't have so much stress on you. If you lose one gig, you have the other gig. You know. Now I only have this one gig kind of, so it's kind of like and one niche. So now I need to really, you know, what was the advice? Um, Probably save a little bit more. Don't oversort and don't be a little bit pickier. I mean, but even though it does come in handy that I have the death piles. A lot of people are like, oh, I can't get anything, whatever it is, and my sales were always was decent throughout you know the pandemic because I always had stuff to list. I'd list stuff
Yeah,
and then when you have merchandise to list, that's what's good about a death pile. Some people are like, oh, I don't have death pile. I get it and I list it. You know, but so if I wasn't as picky, but that's why it's good if you get stuff for cheap, let it sit for a while, especially because what's good about clothing is that it's not like doing coffee mugs or like I don't know, stuff that's all statues or like I don't know. I like that's one thing. Like Tim never showed, at least not in my saw it. I never saw it. I've never seen where he keeps everything. Did
He
you
has
ever
a
see where
storage. He has a storage locker.
a locker? Like he's got to go to the locker now to get his shit. You sell something?
Yeah, yeah.
What the fuck is that? So now
Got a
you get
big
it.
one.
But is it in like one of those like corporate kind of storage locker things? Corporations, they have like a huge building and they have like a million of like one of those kind of setups.
Yeah, I think it's like something like that.
Yeah.
But he's got a
Yeah.
big one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but when you do that, then now, but those things are big. You got to go up to the third floor. You got to go down the hall. You got to go this, right? I mean, do you ever rent a storage locker?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, but mine was like outside in like the first like main area like floor. I didn't have to go upstairs or anything. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, but how is it out? I mean, outdoors outside?
Yeah, it was an outdoors one. It wasn't an inside one.
Yeah, but how do they keep it climate controlled?
That well, obviously that one wasn't climate controlled.
Yeah, well, you gotta have climate control.
Yeah, well, I mean, I used it for different stuff though. Like it wasn't for like reselling. It was just when I moved out, I had to find a place to store stuff, and like I didn't think about it
Yeah,
being
but
inside or outside.
also you had it for what a month or two?
Oh gosh, no, I longer. I had it for about half like 6 months.
Oh, okay, all right,
Yeah,
okay.
6 months. Yeah.
No, but he constantly has stuff in there. I'm assuming, obviously, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so but in the locker, so then he has a setup with racks with like wire racks or something in it.
Yeah, he has a bunch of shelving and like I think he had like some like armoire or something to hold some of the stuff too.
But I don't know if does he ship every day. I mean, that's when you're doing glass and that kind of stuff, it's like I know another guy who does artwork, paintings and shit,
Mhm.
and but he's set up for it. He knows how to box everything right. I try to get him like another thing. He's like a morning guy, exercise in the morning. I try to get him on here. He doesn't want no part of, you know. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But definitely, that's why I like clothing. You could just make a death pile. You could just literally. With other stuff, you know, it's hard to make it's hard to make, it's hard to make an actual pile. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you. But I mean, yeah, like like the stuff here in the back right now, it's starting to pile up, and I'm starting to lose some space. So I'm thinking of expanding somewhere else because it's
But
starting
it's
to build
listed
up.
or it's a death pile.
No, that's listed.
Okay,
It's all
all right.
listed. Yeah,
Long tail.
yeah, somewhat. I mean, yeah, usually some of the items that I have are pretty long too, like the higher end ones. I mean, at least.
Mm-hmm. Now, what else you have aside from video games?
I do a bit of everything. Like I have toys. I have what else do I have? I have like DVDs, ink, uh, swimming pools, and
I'll tell you another thing. That's actually That's one thing that people don't talk about. That I think is a good opportunity of source. Not, I mean, it's kind of like a bolo kind of thing, like swimming pool stuff. Like I was at a one garage sale, I don't know, 6 years ago, whatever it was, and I bought like one of those pumps, like a swimming pool pump.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? Like the water like goes into one thing and then like shoots out the other side. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway,
Yeah, yeah,
like those sell for a lot of money, and the people who have them, like let's say like at the garage sale, the guy sold it to me for like $10, and I sold it for like 150. Because the guy, to him, it's worth. If he doesn't have the pool anymore, it's not worth it. What's it worth? It's worth
yeah. You're just
nothing.
getting rid of it now.
And other people walking by are not gonna. It's not like something that somebody's gonna buy on a regular. Like you have to remember, not everybody who goes to the garage sale is a reseller. We assume like it's like all resellers and stuff like that. I mean,
Hmm.
most of the stuff people who show up are people who want to buy for themselves or their family or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're not all you know reselling hustler. You know what I mean.
Oh, like one thing, like oh yeah, one thing I like finding too is filters, like any type of filter, like a water filter or anything like that.
Okay.
Those are really good. Like they sell fairly quickly, and I can get them for fairly cheap too.
Yeah. No, and I'll tell you, this guy I was telling you, that guy who's got PTSD, my friend Ronnie. Not
Yeah, yeah.
Ronnie, not the estate sale lady Ronnie. This other guy, I'm talking about the guy who waits outside the door at Savers with what his kind of bolo that he always looks for that he makes money with. Do you, do you know what a blow mold is?
A blow is that for like glass?
No, it's like
Okay.
did you ever see? Did you ever? You got to do. This is it. We're gonna do a screen share and then I'm leaving.
All right, cool.
All right. I don't know. Maybe since Christmas is over, it might not really have any in there. But you got to look up. Um, you got to look up uh, blow mold. BLOWMOLD. This is gonna blow you.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Yeah,
you do
yeah,
screen share?
yeah.
I'll tell you something. And people, these are at garage sales and stuff like that. People think these are worth nothing. All right.
Oh,
Now, I think you got to go to eBay and do the comp. Oh, you can't do .com. You got to do .Canada.
I can do .com.
Yeah, come on, Canada. I'm not gonna have that many on there in Canada. Maybe actually probably would because you guys do have the North Pole, no?
North Pole isn't even near us.
What do you mean? You don't have the North Pole in Canada?
Well, I mean, we have some
Who
areas.
has the North? Who has the North Pole?
I don't know isn't that another like a whole other continent.
Oh, that's the South Pole. That's Antarctica. So put in blow
Oh,
mold. All right, now you do the like highest to lowest, and then do sold, and then do the high. Did you do highest to lowest? Oh,
oh, I gotta sort it. Jeez, 1800 for Santa. What the 1500 for reindeer? That's crazy. What is this? Like
some
a Santa
bullshit,
hat.
right?
Yeah,
Let me tell you something. You mean to tell me that's not something that you've seen at a garage sale,
I've probably seen it several times.
and you probably kicked it by mistake trying to get something else? You probably tripped over it or stepped on it.
Wow,
So scroll down.
that's crazy, man. Look at that Disney one, $500.
500. Easter Sunday, 479.
That's
And then
insane, bro.
Jesus with the nativity.
It is a turkey with
Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving, the pilgrims.
that's crazy, man.
But look at that. I guess I'm saying. So when you see that, unbelievable. That was the bolo he gave me. He's like, oh, those blow molds. And of course, when he told me that, I'm like, Ronnie, get the fuck out of here. Like, don't bother me. And then he showed me on the phone, and I'm like, he's like, no, these are good. These are bolos over here. Bolos, not bolos, whatever the fuck. He's like, if you find those, if you look a Tigger blow mold, who would look? That's That's what I'm saying. That's another show. I think they do that in England or one of those people.
300 bucks.
They show you an item like it like basically like look, we're gonna find a random item and then you're gonna do like how much do you think it's worth and then higher or lower. Like who would think that? Look at those numbers on that stuff. Halloween blow mold.
Look at this ugly ass owl, and it's $242.
$242.
That's crazy, man.
All right. I'm gonna show you one more. If you remember when you were a kid, go into the search bar.
Yeah.
Type in Trapper Keeper. TR. You remember those? You remember what a Trapper Keeper is from school?
I don't know. I gotta see it.
Look, you see the first one?
Trapper Keeper.
It was like when you put your school stuff in.
Like a binder?
Yeah, read it. No, that's the new ones. Talk about the look at that other. Look at that right there. Freaking dogs on it.
What the hell? That's crazy, man. Jeez.
Trapper Keepers. Who would think that those Trapper Keepers, the one that Ferrari one is the one that's the highest. You already sorted from highest, right?
Yeah, I did.
You know what? Click off the soul. Just do the currents. I just want to see if they have. Yeah, you know how to. Oh, just click off the. Yeah, okay. And then still high to low, right?
Yeah.
Look at that one here. Like that's the one they're asking. 300, 200.
That's
You know,
crazy.
that's what I was saying. Like sometimes you're like, there's weird shit out there that you like. If you walked past that in a thrift store or at a garage sale or something like that, would you think in a million years that was worth that money?
Nah, not even.
And the blow molds, those Santa Claus, those, those that you see on people's lawns.
But I mean,
Like
like
you're shocked.
it's gonna be difficult to ship though. Like it's probably gonna be
Oh,
expensive as hell.
yeah, it's gonna be expensive as hell, but still, hey, look, somebody paid. I mean, who cares how expensive? I mean, that's the whole point. Is when you buy it, think of where are you gonna buy it from? Garage sale. Do you think you go to the garage sale and then you're gonna go there and you're gonna say, oh, how much is this? What was the one? An owl? Oh, what the fuck? What was it? The
Oh, the
Halloween
owl
one?
blow. Yeah, the
Like
owl blow mold.
like $200, something like that. You think you're gonna go there and the guy's gonna be like, you know what? I'll take $75. The guy, look. Do you think anyone would charge for those little, especially the small ones, more than $5?
Yeah, I'm sure that it'll be that price.
10 on maybe the big one. You never see that. Ugh, kill me.
Krillin plays 500 a blow. What a ripoff.
What a ripoff. Oh, now it's chilly. This is what I hate now about this time of the year.
Hey, David, how's it going, man? Thanks for being here.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
David
man.
M?
Yeah, it's David M.
Top of the morning to you, David. Top of the morning. Top of the morning.
Tommy
Canada.
said, look up Disney VHS Black Diamond tapes.
Oh no. Yeah, but that's just we're still trying to find out. People say that that's money laundering or some kind of
I'm sure it is.
It is very, very, very suspicious. And I'm surprised that eBay hasn't caught on to that. I mean, especially with but honestly, I mean, I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but that's what artwork in general is like a lot of artwork is literal money laundering because like they have like certain like pictures of just like somebody just literally taking like a bucket of paint and just like dropping paint onto it, like not like a real nice painting, just like they just do paint on it, and then
Yeah.
it's sold for like thousands and thousands of dollars, and it's like, well, wait a second, why? That's something that your 2-year old could do, but it's just, but they say that it's some kind of money laundering, you know, that's what they do with that you know, with that painting, you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I'll buy
it's
this.
true. But like they make so much money off of the fees, eBay. So like, I'm sure that's why a reason why they don't really say anything at all.
Yeah, because you mean somebody spending yeah, what's the high? Just for shits and giggles, what's the highest one? Do a
Which one?
black diamond. Do a black diamond, highest to low, just for shits and giggles.
Someone's asking. These guys are asking 1.28 million.
Yen,
No, dollars. Let
even
me check
yen.
the sold. Let me check solds.
Yeah, just souls.
7 grand. Hold on. Let me. That's ridiculous.
And a lot of times it's people with a lot of feedback. It's not like it's somebody.
Look at this 11,001.
No, but
Like,
that line through it, that means they took a
yeah,
best offer. They
but
took
like,
a
what the
best
hell
offer.
was the best offer? Here, this is 4,900 for Beauty and the Beast.
Rare. I love that. Rare.
Three
29.
grand. Give me a break, man.
All right, I'm going into the house now. I just wanted to make one more comment before I go.
Yeah,
Also wanted to thank you for inviting me on.
yeah, no
Anytime,
problem,
I'm
man.
always available. I'm always available anytime. Um, nighttime, obviously. Not daytime. Daytime, I'm running around, and but night I'm usually pretty good. But I don't know. Were you in the chat when we were talking? I believe it was Tommy. He was talking about the new restrictions with the items that will be restricted and categories that will be restricted on eBay.
Oh yeah,
And
when because of the managed payments and like
yeah,
the yeah.
so I just read an article today. I sent it to Tommy. I sent it to a couple other people. I don't know if you're interested in. I don't know. Do you don't are you into coins or numismatics, collectible dollar like print money or anything like that? You
N-
ever do that?
Not really, but I know that's one of the things that are being affected.
Well, in this article they just put that it won't be like that.
Really?
There, yeah. I'll text you the. I mean, I'll message you the article, whatever it is.
Oh,
So,
okay.
because it said something, because the guy who was because it was like on a forum somewhere, and somebody from one of the eBay executives caught wind of it, and then they were like, no, 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 that's not happening. I think maybe it might be with a different processor or something. I don't know the whole detail,
Yeah,
but you will be able to still sell coins on eBay, which is like a huge. Like I heard it's like the largest coin and bullion marketplace in the world.
it is.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it would be kind of weird if they just kind of disappeared, because we thought we were coming up with these other reasons, or whatever it is. But what was I saying? But they said they're gonna have it. Um, so if anybody who was in the chat was, because I know a lot of people sell, and what's good is this: if you have coins and you need to liquidate them fast, you could just put them on there and they'll sell. Like if you have gold bullion or gold this or whatever. Because I heard some other like resellers talking about like that they bought, like say gold, or they found the gold or whatever, and then they go to some like cash for gold place, and they had to pay like, and they only gave them like 75 cents on the dollar for it. It's like, just put it on eBay. You can sell scrap gold on eBay. Of course, it's best if you test it and you show it tested and everything. But people will buy. You could do a lot of things. You could put scrap gold on, and people. I mean, you'll pretty much get the spot price for for scrap, because they'll pay you a premium above the. Okay, what do you say?
Oh wow, David, thank you so much, man. That's awesome.
Ask him when is David coming on?
When's David coming? Oh, hey, whenever he wants.
The Canadian UK connection. The the
Thank you so much, David. Though seriously, that oh my god, that's crazy. Thank you so much. Oh man, I'm shaking.
yeah, it's top of the
Yeah,
morning. Top of the morning. They got it's because it's early in the morning.
you should have Krillin on again. There you go. See?
Well, one day we want to get into a deeper topic. If you ever, you talk about certain things,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. Like,
especially when we talk about, like I said, like brick and mortar. Maybe if you could put in your Instagram or something like that. Be like, look, having somebody, you want to ask questions about, are you thinking about having a brick and mortar type business? I would answer their questions if they want to know about leases. I know, because there's also things I didn't talk about that is very important. Something called a good guy clause, which is very important. About the deposits and different things involved in the insurances. Because I told you I have a degree in accounting too, so I know a lot about accounting, and also one important factor when you have a business with it like that with an overhead, you have to know what your break even point is. Okay, it's very important to know. I mean, for us, it doesn't. Like, we really don't have an overhead per se. If you're a reseller out of your house, I mean, you know you're going to make money with your items. But once you start to run it like a business where you have employees, where you have rents, and where you have money dedicated, where you have fixed costs that are constantly there, how much money do you have to sell, or how much money you have to make on that item in order for you to break even? How much and that's what I studied for years. So that's very important to know, because when you say you want to open a restaurant, or you want to open, like you said, that ice cream store, or you want to open anything, you have to know what your bills are going to be every month, and then you have to be able to figure out break even. How many customers do I have to see every month, that how they're going to make a purchase, just in order for me just to break even? Because that's the more, and then of course, then you get then after the break even, then you figure, well, okay, if I want to walk away with $100,000, how much stuff on eBay do I have to sell to make $100,000? After fees,
yeah.
after you know, after all this stuff, what do I have to do? And like I say, I studied all that, so that's not difficult for me to figure out. I can calculate all that stuff, even though, as far as the accounting part for taxes, I'm not the greatest, and I kind of wing a few things. I'm not the one to really follow when it comes to taxes. But but as far as conceptual things, I'm very familiar. People want to ask me
Mm.
like more conceptual questions, that that I can answer. Counting, when it comes to that type of stuff. When it comes to like like, a lot of people are always like, oh, can I write this off? Can I write that off? I mean, that kind of stuff changes every year, and you really shouldn't be, if you're concerned with, if you one I'll leave you with one thing, because I'm sure you hear a lot of people talk about, oh, I can write this off the taxes, or I can write this off the taxes. I mean, any business related expense comes off of your taxes, off of the income that you made. So you're taxed on a lower amount, obviously.
Hmm.
Anything business related, that's not a fine or something like that, is is what you would call, say, if you want to call it a write off, but we just, or a deduction, but just lowers your taxable income. But you should, you always want to worry about making more money first, and then, well, how can I get extra tax money back or something. I know a lot of people kind of focus on, they're like, oh, I can use that as a tax write-off or that. It's like, well, make the money first, and then you figure out the other stuff. All right.
Doesn't have the wife beater on. We need an intermission.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm going right to bed. I'm kind of tired. It's already 2 a.m. You know.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
All
It
right.
was great to talk to you.
Yeah. No, I
And if
appreciate
anybody's,
you coming on, man.
what's up?
No, I appreciate you coming on. Seriously.
Yeah, and if anybody, there's any coin sellers or paper money sellers, whatever it is, if they want, they could always message me on Instagram, Bob's Blazers and Vintage. I'm sure if they wanted, if I could send them a link to that article. I sent it to Tommy before, because I know coins and and bullion, you know, um, whatever that, bullion, whatever. That's a big category, and
It is. Yeah.
people want to be able to. And what's good about it, you can liquidate it quick. So if anybody wants that article, I'll send them that article. All right.
That's awesome, man.
All right. So it's
All
good to
right.
see you. Take care,
Yeah,
guys. Cheers.
all right, guys. That is Mr. Krillin there. Awesome to have him on there and be able to like I've never heard that part of I guess of what he did, like having the restaurant business and stuff. So it's pretty cool hearing that part and like the brick and mortar stuff. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions about that, and like I put Krillin's Instagram on the description as well as his channel as well. I mean, if like we'll definitely, I'll be live at some point again, and we'll get him back on. But I'm sure he'll always be on Tommy and Tracy's live as well. So always catch that whenever you get the chance, and I'm sure you'll see him, and you can always ask a question about it, I guess. But yeah, usually I get was it? It's usually 1 to 2 a.m. He gets into that Chris. You probably fell asleep. I think a Twitch stream will be good into this. I don't know. Like the thing is, I have to get up early tomorrow. I'm going to if Tim's listening, but I'm going to a dinosaur world park, which is about an hour away. So we're going to be leaving early. So I might jump on maybe for a couple songs and then I'll hit the hay. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate you guys being here. Still have 25 people in the chat. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel, I guess, if you haven't. And also don't forget to hit the like button too. So I will see you guys later. I'll probably get a hit Twitch for like about an hour. So I'll be, you can follow me on Twitch at Thrift Beast, and then I'll see you guys around. Peace out, guys.